Hello, everybody. Welcome. This edition of I guess I'm gonna call it the Alexis K. Tyler, AKT Celebrity Reads. A little bit of Alexis K. Tyler Vagina Power. I'm trying to sit in a way you can see all of the candles. Um, I guess I can't move so you can see. Excuse me. Hey, Richie. The candles and the ancestor altar. I wasn't going to come because I'm tired. I've been dealing with my own things. Let me see. I want to make sure you see those candles. Oh my God. You see the ones at the top? Nipsey's candles. I want to make sure I show you those because there's so much energy and activity with them. Hi everybody. Hi Divine Rain. Uh, Thank you. I'm trying to figure out what am I doing, trying to get in the camera as well as have the candles in the camera. I've been busy because I needed time. Thank you. Yeah, I wanted something different because I felt like wearing black, especially what I've been dealing with, black and then having the red scarf. I love the black and red colors together. I just have, I don't know if you can see it. Kind of like this is a jumpsuit. I don't know. You can see the back. I have to move the old chair. Gosh, I'll try, but is this a jumper? It's a one-piece jumpsuit, like my birthday present. Bring it for my birthday. You see, it's a one-piece. I love jumpers, as you know. Some people think when I'm dressed, I have a dress on, or a top. And I'm like, no, I have a jumpsuit on because I love, this is like a one piece that you zip in the back. Okay. I'm not going to stay long because I don't have a reading to do. Thank you, Gail. So you talking my language now. Get it, girl. Not girl. Get it, girl. Get. I know. I can't believe we're in December. And we're getting ready to go. That's right, cripping and dripping in this bitch. The marathon continues in this motherfucker. On who? On God. Goddamn King Nips and Hustle. Goddamn it. King Nip and Queen dripping this bitch. I came from the dirty South and trapped my motherfucking house out. The dirty South meets LA in this bitch. Crenshaw in this bitch. Neighborhood Nip in this bitch. Okay, let me tell you. Yeah, because I've been doing private readings as well as packing products and taking new orders. So I want to say that I love everybody. I appreciate everybody. That I thank everybody for loving me and supporting to me and donating for the Nipsey altars, for the King Von altars, um, donating so I can continue to do the work that I do, buying the products, the hair care, the skincare products, buying the readings, doing the, donating to do the private readings. Thank you very much for keeping that going. I can't believe we're going into a new year. The past couple of weeks, I really needed my time, and I don't always take a lot of time the way I am supposed to, but I really felt led to do it the past 2 weeks. And I didn't know why, but it was like, you know what? I'm always tired, but I'll keep working anyway, but this time I'm not. I'm really going to take a break. So yeah, please, yeah, there's my cash up there. Please continue to donate to me so I can continue to do the work I do moving into 2022. I see some things I said have already come out about the underground volcanoes, the underground earthquakes, the new virus, and Nipsey showed me another virus is coming after this Omicron. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, with the parasites in it and the vaccines. They're trying to double up all these vaccines. So we're going to be interested to watch and see where that goes and how that goes. I see another one coming. I tell you, we were in the Jason period, and we're in the December moving into Christmas period, and a lot of people in entertainment out here are going to be sacrificed and leaving, and I see that is happening, but it's also happened to me. think, did it start? Nipsey came in here, and I felt like he kind of went somewhere, like he does. I know when he goes somewhere, but I didn't know what it was going to be about because I needed a break. I had done, I think, like 2 King Dolph readings, Young Dolph. I was looking at him, and then King Von came in and I put something on the altar for him for one of his female friends that wanted me to put something on the altar for him, and she actually picked up something for the takeout. And then I saw Slim 400, and I was going to look at that, but I was too tied up. And then I see another rapper from LA that also knew Nipsey and paid tribute to Nipsey. I think like maybe a year or so ago, I saw the video. He was stabbed to death in LA last night or over in the morning. I wasn't able to get to that. The Draco the Ruler, thank you. Oh, the twins. Yes, I said that I saw the twins and the dogs, and you see all that's coming. I think I wonder if it's a set of twins that work at that cookie store, because it's a light skinned girl, petite, I saw that I wondered was dealing with Young Doll. Because she looked like what I had seen in my visions, what he showed me. But let me tell you what happened to me, and I needed some time to myself. I still do. So as I'm moving into the new year, I don't know how long I'm going to be. I'm not going to probably be here too much the next few weeks. And I'm not going to be doing any heavy readings on anybody because I need my time for me and to deal with my own healings and my own wounds. It's just, I have a messy, fucked up family on my mother's side. I see it's on my father's side too, but I don't know that I would deal with them. It's so much goddamn shit, and it's been like that before I was born and after I was born. Raven Chess twins, thank you, baby, because remember from the very beginning I said Young Dolph kept saying it was twins in that store, and they were attached to his murder as well as in hip hop. And last week, Nipsey came to me, and he started talking to me about my grandmother. And he started saying things like, you remember how you liked certain games and your Easy Bake Oven that your grandmother bought you and the bike she bought you? And he started showing me the picture of the bikes, the name of the bikes, the picture of the Easy Bake Oven. He even said, certain furniture your grandmother had that you liked. Remember, some of it had Nipsey Blue in it. And I started saying, yeah, that's right. And then I said, why are you talking about my grandmother? Why are you talking about my grandmother, Nipsey? Why you keep talking about my grandmother and talking about toys and shit? And I looked at him, and he just did this. He looked down at me, just looking, and he wouldn't talk. And I said, why you won't talk? He said, all I'm saying to you, Alexis, is that you need to be positive, and you only need to remember the good things about your grandmother. Don't remember the bad things she did and she said and let people molest you and shit and left you places. Just get the toys I'm telling you to get that remind you of when she was good to you. Because she got you toys that were very intuitive, and she made you exercise and run every day, and she helped to develop you to be what you are and who you are and harness those gifts, even though she didn't know she was doing it. So I said, okay, and I started looking for some of the toys, and I found them. I found the Easy Bake Oven. I didn't get that yet, but I found some of the other toys and some of the games that I really liked that he told me to get. And that day went by. I found one. I ordered it, and then he comes back. This is last week. He comes back again, and he starts saying, you need to get this other toy your grandmother told you to get. She got for you, and you need to get this game. And he's like, you remember your grandmother did this, and you remember your grandmother said that? And then I laughed, and I said, yeah, I do remember that. And then I was like, why are you talking about my grandmother again? Why do you keep bringing my grandmother's name up? Why do you keep talking about my grandmother, Nipsey? And he did it again. He would not say why or what it is. And so I just looked up at him, and I said, what is it? And he wouldn't open his mouth, and then as he's looking at me and I'm looking at him, and he would not say, and I just started getting a vibe, and I was just like, no, you're not saying that. I know you're not saying that to me. He wouldn't speak. He did it like 3 days in a row last week, and then I think it was like Monday. I've been thinking about my grandmother, like really, we weren't speaking to each other. We fell out February of 2019, and I asked her to leave my house because I could not take. I love my grandmother, but I don't really like my grandmother as a person. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna say all these good things because she just died. She physically died, and it was really fucked up the way she died because relatives were stealing her money, beating her up, taking her food stamp card, taking her check card, and she was letting them do it. My half sister's kids, she was letting them do it because she felt sorry for them. Um, and they treated her horribly and disgusting, and she wouldn't leave them alone because she said their mother didn't want them. My mother was in and out of jail, and they had different fathers, and nobody was taking care of them. And she felt I need to hold the family together. I'm like, how are you holding it together? They don't give a fuck about you. My half sisters don't give a fuck about you. They use you. They've always robbed you and used you and taken advantage of you, and you still talking about Jesus gonna fix it. See, that's another show. You see what I'm saying? That's another fucking show. Because she lived like that, being a martyr and a victim. And you know what? Her mother, which is my great grandmother, lived the same way because I knew her. She physically died when I was 10, and my grandmother admired that shit because her mother was a good woman, a religious woman, but was a victim and had no boundaries. And she let people do that shit to her. And my grandmother used to say she wanted to be like her mother and go out like her mother. That if she let people use her and she give, then God was going to bless her back. I said, no, not if you give it to people that don't give a fuck about you and you have no boundaries and they take, and they don't give it back. And then she would just brush me off. She didn't want to hear what I had to say. Basically, would cut me off, talk to me about it, and want me to pity her. And then I said, Mom, why don't you put them out of your house? Why don't you stop fucking with them? She then attacks me. It's my fucking house. It's none of your fucking business. I'm like, you made it my business because you keep fucking asking me, and then you want me to say something about it. You want me to do something about it, and I go over here and go off on them, and I do something about it. And then once I do something about it, and I go off, you still have them there, and they still do some more shit. And then you come to me, and then you say something to me, and then when I say, I don't want to keep talking about it, put their motherfucking ass out, call the police, and I'll be there, and I help you. Then you tell me, get the fuck out of it. It's not my fucking house. It's your fucking business. So I'm like, you know what? I can't win with you because I don't do it to you, but you always want to take that shit out on me. All right? Yeah, but she asked me about it, put me in her business value. Then when I don't want to, oh, Mom, I'm so sorry. But then she keeps them there. When I said, put that fucking ass out. Now, I'm the fucking bad guy and shit. And then flips to shit. Well, one thing I can say is my motherfucking. You're right. You're right. So don't talk about it and keep letting them stay there. So she backed up from me, and I had to accept that I wasn't that type of grandchild, but it's clear she didn't really like that. She didn't really like me. She would give to people that were disgusting to her. And seeing a great grandchild, not a grandchild, but a great grandchild, curse my grandmother out, steal her money. They've been doing this since 2001 when their mother went to prison and got 17 years, do 12, got out in 2014. They were grown, and my grandmother still let this shit go on, cussing her out, taking her money, and nobody could tell her. She thought this was godly. This is the way to get to God, and then said she wanted to die. And when Nipsey sang this to me, the last time I saw her was in my house in February 2019, and I said, Mama, you can't stay here with my niece and let her do that to you and use you, and she's definitely not going to put her hands on me and tear up my house and stay here and don't pay no motherfucking bills. But a nigga's picking her up at 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, and she's staying gone all day long, leaving her 2-year-old here with you and me, and then coming back at 11 and 12. What you been doing all day, and you come back with no money, no job, and you don't want to pay bills, and you want to stay here, and you're dumping this little baby on my grandmother, and you're dumping it on me. And this baby's walking around the house with a big bag of potato chips, a big bag of Cheetos, digging in the bag, eating some, and then throwing the rest of them on my carpet, brand new carpet, and on the floor, and then stepping on them, crunching them down in the fucking carpet. My grandmother's watching it, her mother's watching it, shitting on herself, stanking, and I'm just like, you know what, I can't do this. You're doing this to my grandmother. You need to go stay with your mother who doesn't want you, who never really did, and doesn't take care of you. But you're not going to do this to me. I mean, I saw this, and it was breaking my heart. And I'm sure a lot of people see this. So I'm sharing this not because I really want to, because, you know, women, immature women come to my inbox and want readings from me and then say that I don't feel sorry for them and I have no compassion, and I'm supposed to be sympathetic and pathetic and cry and all that shit, but I'm giving you a little bit of the shit I go. I know you don't care. You know, this is people that love me and support me and donate to me. You don't really care, but you think you're going through something. The little shit you whine about is nothing, not in comparison to what I've gone through in the past, but what I'm also going through right now and what I've continued to do, that I don't fucking whine about this shit. And I was, because, you know, it's just like right now, the past couple of days, I've been dealing with this and being alone, and I was down. I was just sleeping because I was depressed. And at first, I went from feeling agitated and afraid. I knew it was coming because of the way Nipsey kept saying what the fuck he was saying, but he wouldn't fucking say. He just kept saying, Alexis, all I'm going to tell you is I just want you to, before anything happens, just remember the good things about your grandmother. Go get the toys and all the stuff I'm telling you to get that your grandmother had for you. Just take the high road, and that's all I'm going to say to you. And I didn't know what was going to happen, but he kept saying it, and so I started ordering some of the stuff. This was Monday, and I kept feeling my grandmother the past 2 weeks, like real hard, like thinking about her. And I said, my grandmother's thinking about me, but she doesn't know how to reduce her ego and apologize. And I don't want to reduce my ego and apologize. You know, I'm proud, she's proud, and I didn't know where to reach my grandmother. She had changed her phone. I didn't know where she was. Nobody was calling me. I didn't know where she was because she got put out because of my niece and nephew and them kicking in her walls, punching in her walls, sneaking men in off Facebook and other websites, getting fucked all in the ass, and then getting no motherfucking money. My nephew taking dick all in my grandma's house and smoking meth, and then the strangers would disappear. My grandma's waking up strangers in her house, fucking him all in the ass and slamming his head up against the headboard in the wall while he high on motherfucking meth. My niece taking dick all in the house. Hell, I don't know, the dog could have been fucking a bitch getting pussy in the goddamn house. I mean, it was basically a whole house over there. Everything going on. People drinking, smoking over there. People from my grandmother's family and friends, they bringing their friends, and they land. It's so many people in my grandmother's house because they love my grandmother because she could cook, but also people used her and didn't give her any money. And they on the floor, they on the sofa, they in the chair, they in all the bedrooms, and her house is a fucking mess. The carpet's worn out, roaches are everywhere. I'm coming in there, they come and meet me and sit on the motherfucking wall when they know I come in the goddamn house and looking down with their antennas doing this shit right here, like saying hello, want to talk to me, and want to fucking go over my house. I couldn't take a pocketbook in there. But I don't want to say that to my grandmother. But when I'm saying you need to put them out, I help you exterminate it and then clean it. I help you with your bills. But not if you keep giving your money. She was getting money from me. She was getting money from my mother. She was getting money from other people. And then instead of paying her rent, paying her light bill, she's giving it to my niece and nephew. They cussing her out. They call her all kind of old bitches. They bring it straight, like I said, strangers off of Facebook, strangers off of different sites, coming to fuck my nephew all up in his ass, stretching his ass wide and deep and long while he out of his mind on some goddamn meth, fucking my niece in the ass, whooping her ass out there in the goddamn driveway and shit, and she's stealing my grandma money. Like I said, the dog, they probably got the dog over there getting here, had a bitch to fuck him too, goddammit. So it's like all this shit going on, and my grandmother would cuss me out when I say, why don't you put these motherfuckers out? This has been going on since 2001 when they were little and just robbing, and my grandma just leave her pocketbook open. They take it, and then they take her bank card. This nephew goes to spend it on men taking sissies shopping that don't give a fuck about him, that he done met out. Once he take them out shopping with her bank card and take her food stamp card, get them a bite to eat so they can have the dog eating pussy to the dog getting table dances. Hell, my son, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna put his, he over there because I came over there when we shot the video over there. If you look at that video, one of them videos we shot at her house and she let me shoot it and I cleaned up behind her and I would help her. I was over there, he had a girl that's a stripper. The dog up there, his tongue long out his mouth with all kind of spit and shit dripping out of his mouth. He leaking and his dick hard looking at, wait a minute to me, because you said the dog a victim. How the dog a goddamn victim when he seen her pussy? A human pussy, and his dick get real long down to the fucking ground, and his tongue, start hollering when he see that lady pussy like he done had a shot of that lady pussy like the night before they getting the dog powder, the dog snow powder, drinking brown liquor. like cone liquor. They getting the dog rum. They getting the dog reapers. They probably, Chio bending over and he start salivating and slobbing with his, and his dick get real long. Dick is leaking, and I'm watching this shit. I said, sheep, and I asked my son, I said, you have them human bitches shaking their ass in front of this dog? He gonna say, yeah, they get a dog, a goddamn take. You know, some of these people have sex with these goddamn dog. He like he trying to get to her. They got him a little, like on a little doggy dresser with a little line of coke for the dog over there to snort powder. Look, the dog a victim, Jack. The dog is a victim. The dog a victim. Like he coming, looking at her. She snorting powder. He snorting powder. And I said, you got this shit going on over here in grandma's house, because he know what I want to go. I said, you're going to have to get out of this. You see my niece and nephews over here, and you over here getting this dog pop. Look. He talking about, I don't know, one of the girls must have gave it to him. I said, but you let them shake their ass and bend their ass over wide and open their asshole to a dog. It's a red nose, like a fucking pit. So I'm trying to do an intervention for the dog, because the dog now needs to go to rehab. This dog don't even eat dog food no more. This nigga eating steak, cheese. I mean, I had brought in some too. Eating cheeseburgers. You know, go up there to motherfucking Burger King. This nigga up there think he a nigga. He's sitting in the driver's, like at the passenger side. We riding him. He know how to roll the window down and put his head out to get a breeze and put his head through the sunroof top. We go to Burger King. He up there goddamn habit your way at Burger King. Or get goddamn McDonald's, 2-hour beef patty, sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickle onion on a sesame seed bun. We get fries, this nigga get french fries, goddamn it. We get a pizza, the nigga get him a pizza. They get a beer, this nigga get a beer. They get some liquor, he get a liquor, I get him an ice cream sundae and shit. But I didn't know about this nigga on powder. The dog is on powder. Pussy, money, weed. They got this nigga over there doing all kinds of shit. I mean, they told my grandma to a whole house and a club and shit. He put the dog, start whining. He know how to took his paw. This motherfucking dog right here. The dog is pimping, goddammit. The dog know how to unlock my grandmama door. It's one of them door with the little knob you twist to the side and open the door knob and then hold it straight up to lock the door. I didn't believe it till I synced it. The pit bull, the red-nosed pit, knowed how to stand up, had his bottom leg down, put his top leg, click the lock like he wanna, took his 2 hands on the top and twisted. Twist the lock, take his ass outside and wait for the bitches to come up to bring his, bitch better have my money. Bring his powder and pussy. And then get him shotgun or weed with his beer on the side. Light ice, goddamn it, had a chill cup. I'm seeing this, I don't even, I can't even believe this shit is going on. Aren't they smart? Pit bulls are fucking smart. I mean, man, if I'm gonna tell on everybody, I didn't tell on my own son, goddammit. I'm putting his motherfucking ass in there, because right now he gonna get mad at me. We got the arguing last night. Why you gonna put a guilt trust? Because you know it's shit you did to mama too. You did not steal her money. No, you didn't. You protected her, and you beat motherfuckers' ass for trying to, my niece and nephew, if they get wrong, you yoke their ass up. But still, I ain't like how you had turned it in a whole house and got that dog over there with table dances with his dick leaking down long, dragging the ground, saliva coming out his mouth because a bitch throwing her pussy around. And I believe that you let him fuck some of them bitches. I don't know if you let him see you or you got the dog watching porn, but instead of looking at a dog with his dick on hard, he is looking at human beings, goddammit. Now, he didn't do it to me. He know I was his mama. He never did it to me. I guess the dog knew the difference. Like the first time I just said, they smart. He never did that to me. He always licked me and hugged me. He knew I was mama. But then I actually stood there and he did it. And the girl was going through the changing her clothes in front of him. He starts whimpering and leaking. Everything on this dog is leaking. I knew people had sex with dogs, but I really had not. I hadn't seen that. So I'm watching this and I'm disgusted by this. So I didn't come over there because she wouldn't put them out. And she wouldn't do what I was telling her to do. And I said, Mom, I can't take this. This is a party house and a whole house and they just using you. Well, they mama don't want them and they ain't got nowhere to go. I'm like, Mama, if they kill you, because my grandmother also had a very bad ulcer and was taking medicine, high blood pressure and stuff, but she loved to cook and feel neat and stuff. Like I got it from, I love to cook and stuff. I love to feed children. I love to watch people eat. I love to eat. I said, well, Mama, when something happens to you, they're not going to be homeless like you think. They're going to find someone else to play on and take advantage of them. They're going to find somebody. And that's exactly what they've done today. They have someone somewhere to stay right now. You said what they did in Texas now, Cali, overwhelming. Oh, I don't know what they did there. Like I said, past few days, I have to think about myself and what I have a family and a life too. I have to think about me. I have feelings in a life too, you know. Um, I think that was like Monday, and I was thinking about my grandmother, and then I'm like, where is she? Because Nipsey keeps saying this. Okay, and then I get a message, and I heard that my grandmother was not in Atlanta anymore, that she had been taken by her other daughter to Texas, that she's in Texas, and she is dying of lung cancer, full blown lung cancer. And I'm like, I'm thinking about Nipsey, and I'm looking at him, and he still wouldn't say anything. He said, like I told you, I'm trying to tell you to get ready. And then a few days later, I hear this. This is this week. I hear this. And I didn't know her other daughter's number. I didn't know my aunt's number. Um, I didn't know who to reach because I wasn't speaking to my birth mother or her husband. I didn't know. I thought I knew the number. I called the number. The number was changed. It didn't work. So that was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm just like, okay, well, nobody wants to talk to me. They didn't even tell me that they were taking my grandmother. She was born and raised in Atlanta. I'm born and raised in Atlanta. She's always said she never wanted to go to Texas to live or visit. She would visit, but she never wanted to live there. She said, I was born in Atlanta. I want to die in Atlanta. I want to be buried by my mom, which is my great grandmother that I had the pleasure to know until I was 10. And I didn't understand. And I'm just like, my grandmother is gone from Atlanta, but she is still alive. So I'm trying to figure out how to get the number to Texas and figure out if my grandmother's still alive, and I want to make peace with her and let her know I'm not angry with her anymore and I forgive her. So I didn't know how to do that because my mother's husband's number wasn't working. I didn't want to get a ride over there because I don't really get along with them. I didn't know who else to contact. My niece that was there, I had shared that when this happened, what, February 2019, when they were here, I said, you can't stay here and not pay bills. You're not going to do me like you did my grandmother. Then me and my grandmother got into it. I had shared that before because she let two of her male relatives, she left me there to babysit. They tried to rape me at 7 years old. And I fought them. And then when my grandmother got home the same day, I told her. Well, I told my mother first. And my mother said, I liked that. And I was a whore. I deserved what happened to me. Wouldn't stand up for me. And I'm just a baby. I waited a few hours till my grandmother got home. I told my grandmother. My grandmother went outside and confronted them. And they admitted they had done that to me. And then all my grandmother did was say, you cannot keep her anymore. So one of them died. I went to his funeral. And then the other one became a preacher. So I wasn't thinking about it. But my grandmother was talking about the one that's alive that's a preacher. And she was bragging on him. And I said, oh, you know what, Mama, I forgot. Thank you for bringing that up. I've been looking for his church and I can't find it. Because I want to confront him about what he did before I die and before he dies. And I want to let people know that he rapes little girls. And I'm sure he's done it to someone else. His church members need to know. Everybody in public needs to know what he did. And I'm sure if he did it to me, he's done it to other people in the family and probably people in that church. And the women probably don't know. The fathers don't know because the women are not speaking. All I did was ask my grandmother for the name of the church. And I said, nobody will know that you gave me the name of the church. I won't tell anybody you gave it to me. And my grandmother turns her head away from me, looks at the wall, and basically like, I'm not telling you a motherfucking thing. And I'm standing, and my grandmother's sitting in a chair because she was looking. My grandmother's always been a very big woman. She actually looked good fat because she's so tall. She's so big. When I saw her, my grandmother, I knew something was wrong because her face was long. Everything on her was long. Her breasts were long. Her arms were long. It looked like she had lost weight, but it looked like either your nerves are bad or you're not eating something, you've been in a lot of stress because of the way she looked. She looked very, everything was long on her. Her face was long. And I knew she looked troubled and worried. So I knew she was sick. And I felt that it wasn't going to be long. So I'm asking her, just tell me, because you know where it is, because you were just bragging on him. And I think that's fair. Yeah, Valerie, I couldn't maintain my composure when she kept doing that to me. So you looking at somebody and then they basically do you like this. She did that and started staring at the wall in the opposite direction. And I said, are you serious right now? Like, you're not going to tell me. And you know what happened to me was wrong. And you know I was telling the truth because I said it the same day it happened as soon as you got home. And I couldn't believe that you left me with two grown ass men. And they clearly like the fuck little girls. She wouldn't look at me. And she said, I'm not going to tell you. And I said, how could you do that to me? I have suffered with this and struggled with this. And you all said that every girl in the family that happened to, you love the boys, you hate the girls. And I mean, that's clear. That's a narcissist. Anybody that could do that. My mother even turned her back and said, oh, you wanted it. You're a whore. I'm not going to confront them. And I'm like, are you serious? I at 7. I know this is wrong. And why don't you do something? My mother would not defend me. My grandmother, she did confront them, but that's all she said. She didn't report it or nothing. You can't babysit her anymore. And when I asked her, well, why didn't you tell? Why didn't you take him to the doctor? Why didn't you tell the caseworker? Why didn't you tell the police? And I said, oh, because you didn't want anybody to know their name. You wanted to protect them. My grandmother then starts laughing at me and starts making fun of me and said, I like that I wanted that I deserved that. And I couldn't really hold my composure at that point. I've never disrespected my grandmother. I've never stolen from her. I never went in her pockets. I never done nothing like that. I never hit my grandmother. I didn't hit her that night, but I did go off on her. I did disrespect her. If that's considered disrespect her and I cursed, I went off and I'm just like, I can't look at you. I don't want you here. Because I've been so good to you and I've tried to love you and you never wanted my love. You always use me. Everything I get from you, and then you let them use you and they don't give a fuck about you and take your stuff. And I never stole from you. But you let them do that to me. And that's not the first time. And I still kept loving you. And it's been this pain in my heart. And I never really got the right help because you told me. And when my mother was raped by your boyfriend, my mother's sister was raped by your boyfriend when they were growing up. They had a lot of problems around that because my grandmother was an alcoholic. And so she would pass out smoking and drinking, and she didn't know. She didn't remember all this was going on in her house, but she would get these kind of men. For some reason, she would attract men that liked to fuck little girls. And then it went into her grandkids. And she didn't want to hear it. She didn't want to talk about it. That's in the past. Jesus will fix it. I don't want to hear it. And that's, to be honest with you, I don't really want to say this, but I feel like I do need to say this, and that's the truth. Even though I'm not that proud of it, that's the truth. And I'm going to tell on myself, I went off on my grandmother. And I didn't want to see my grandmother anymore. Because she didn't care. And she told me it was my fault. And when I started saying, how could it be my fault? I was 7. I was a baby. It was your house. You were my guardian. My mama left me with you. And you left me. You didn't have enough discernment. You left me with little girl fuckers. You left me with 2 R. Kellys. And then she starts to laugh. And I knew that there's probably a defense mechanism because of her pride. She didn't want to just say, I'm sorry and I love you. And really, that's all my grandmother had to say. If you just say you're sorry and you love me, I can forget it. And I can work on the healing. And my grandmother wouldn't say she was sorry. She started laughing at me and ridiculing me and then saying that I did that to myself, that I wanted that. And that's when I snapped. And I was just like, I have held this for over 50 years. And you keep saying it's my fault, and you tell all the girls it's their fault, and they just need to forget it and move on, and it's in the past. Who wants to talk about the past? When you never addressed the past, you never healed. Even your 2 daughters went through that shit. And she said, well, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to hear it. And then kept fucking with the men. She kept dealing with the men. So I went upstairs. Now the new lie Okay, I went upstairs and I said, you can stay tonight, but in the next couple of days, please find somewhere to go because you want to use me again like you always do. You always want to freeload on me, and then the bitch that's in here, the little bitch that's in here, you let her rob you and her brother rob you, and they don't have to give you nothing, and they disrespect you and insult you, and they rob you all the time. I never did that to you, but you always want to take advantage of me, and I just don't want to do this anymore. That was a month before they murdered Nipsey. That this was February 2019. I haven't seen my grandmother since. And then after she leaves, I mean, they had stole my shampoo, my buttercream. They had it in their bags. My niece had stole it. Big gallons of shampoo, big containers of my cherry chocolate buttercream, which is like everybody loves my cherry chocolate buttercream. I'm gonna stop seller. I came downstairs. My grandmother had lifted up her wig. She had like a short pixie wig, and she was digging in my buttercream because it's downstairs here in the kitchen. And she started shoving it up under her wig, rubbing her hair with it instead of taking her wig off, putting it on. I wouldn't have minded if she took it off, put it on. I actually offered, I said, Mama, let me deep condition your hair because I knew she had lost a lot of hair. And they had my grandmother like going to different shelters, different motels. They were making my grandmother pay like $600 a week to stay in a motel. I guess that's what that is, like a motel, but you pay rent. They were taking my grandmother's money, taking her food stamps, make her pay because she got evicted and lost her Section 8 because of them. And I couldn't believe I would see an 80-year-old woman, 80-something-year-old woman running the streets with a mentally retarded, like 20-year-old. My niece is like slow, like 21, 22, 23 years old. And they got her, taking her to their friend's house. And then the friends would say my grandmother was stanking, or when she would run out of money, they don't rob her accounts. Then they put, your grandmother got to go. They putting her out. Everybody's putting her out. She came here. Her furniture's gone. Her car's gone. All of her old pictures she had of us is gone. Her shoes are gone. Her clothes are gone. I asked her mama where the clothes at. She's talking like she's out of her mind, like she has dementia or something, but she would not leave them alone to stay with me. She wouldn't leave them alone. They got her, as they say down here, from pillow to post. My grandmother has never lived like that. She's always had her own place, always took care of me, other people's children, my cousin, which is her daughter. She has two daughters. Her daughter's children before they went into the military, because her daughter was married to a military man, so they travel all around the world. I mean, I'm seeing her let this niece and nephew, my half sister's kids, do this to her, and I never did it to her. My son never did it to her. And my grandmother is looking, her face is long. She looks, I mean, you can see her bones in her face, and she's a big woman, so she looked better fat. But it's long, it's hanging. Her titties are long and hanging. Her stomach's long and hanging. Everything on her is thin. And I'm just like she looked like she might have smoked crack or something, but I know she didn't. I know it was stress, and I know my grandmother wasn't eating, but yet she wouldn't leave them alone. And they just taken her all around, and this is in the wintertime. I didn't even know she had lost her house until they told me, and she's going from place to place. All these young people are abusing my grandmother, and she's sticking with my niece, and she's letting them abuse her. I didn't know that's what was going on. Thank you, Libra Queen. And so I hear this. Yeah, when she and I said you have to leave, you got to take her. And I told my niece, you can't stay here without, you're not going to do that to me. Just because I'm your relative means you can take advantage of me. So if you don't want to help me, you have to go. So she leaves. They come back a day or two later. I came to get my stuff, the rest of my stuff, and I looked in their bag. So I knew that they had stolen like a lot of my shampoo, a lot of my buttercream. But this is the thing I didn't understand, because I make fresh buttercream every month to fill orders, and I always kept separate containers from my grandmother, because I knew, and I never charged her, because I knew she loved the cherry chocolate buttercream. So they had the dog on powder, Mary. The dog had his line, a coat lined up over there. He had some dog furniture, like a little dog dresser and a chair with a mirror. The nigga had some shoes. Nigga had some house shoes, had him a nightgown. Nigga had a house coat he was pimping. Had a house coat and shit over there. And he had his little dress. I had bought him a dress, had him a little TV stand. We could put his TV in there, because he liked to get up on the bed, prop up on the pillow, especially if it was a woman in the bed, lay on a bitch and use her titties and chests and shit, lay his hand over her chests and then watch TV. So I had made sure he had a TV stand to watch it. He had his dog bowl, he had a little cage. He had his special, he had some gourmet food, and then, I would bring him sometimes, he had Chinese food. He had rib and french fries and double, Big Mac and shit like that. Had him some Coca-Cola, had his rum. He liked brown liquor. But the nigga he liked the powder more. Got addicted to it. You said that's savage. What you said the dog had a smoking jack and the dog savage. You see, Nipsey's not the only one I spoil. You know what I'm saying? I spoiled the motherfucker. He get on the phone. He know when I be on. He had a cell phone, so the nigga know when I be on the cell phone. And I say, hey, baby, this mommy. You miss mommy. I said, I'm coming over there. You want some french fries? You want the spicy fries? You want your cheeseburger? Oh, he know it was me. See, I look out for him. Sometimes he like that grape drink, that Fanta grape. It's hard to find that earn or really like like a Sprite or Cocoa with a lot of ice from Burger King. I just didn't teach. He knew how to do everything but sip out the goddamn scrawl. He know how to sip out the scrawl. We treat this nigga like he was a damn nigga. Like he was a damn human and shit. He do everything. And nigga know how to ring the doorbell. Yeah, he like the real, but he like the spicy sauce like with the curly Q fry with the season on now. See. Great. Then he know how to ring the doorbell, put his hand up there and then get down. He know okay. My grandmama had, you know how you have one of them front doors and they had a little glass, the long from the ceiling up down, the long sheet of glass that had a curtain on there and then a glass on the other side. This nigga know before he come to the door, because we told him to be careful, don't let no stranger in. And we couldn't get to the door. This nigga here, go to the door. He even did it to me. Here you were knocking on the door, and I said, hey, Z, hey, baby, it's mama. This nigga right here, took his hand, his paw, and know how to pull the curtain back and look out there to see if he knows you or recognize your ass. He knows you, then he go jump down and get in. He unlocked the goddamn door and know how to unlock the damn deadbolt. They turned grandmama house into the trap house, goddamn it. The dog over there like he's a nigga, like he's human and shit. And acted like it is shit. The dog, girl, I couldn't believe it. When I seen it, Lakeisha, I'm standing at the door. Dee. I hear some scratching and shit. This nigga, thank you, Bella. Thank you, Mika, for the donation, baby. This nigga right here, he goes up there, he snatch it like that and look me up and down to see it was me. I said, this mama, baby. Help. So after he opened, he shoved it all the way over from one side to the other. So he can get a good look at you and look you up and down. Get down. Nigga unlocked the door. Then he had to reach up and turn the fucking deadbolt. We had to watch the dog because this motherfucker knows how to come in and out by himself. I didn't know the dog know how to do it. Go over there. My grandma would say, you need to stop getting stuff. It's time for you to take your nap. Had him a pillow and shit on the sofa with a little cover. He looked at her. She said, go take a nap. My grandma up there playing basketball with him and shit. They dribbling the ball. She dribbling, throw it. He go and catch it and bring the ball back to her and then go up there. He had his certain sofa. She told him it's a mid-12, midday, it's time for you to take your nap. He gets up there, jump up and stretch his body out on the goddamn sofa and pull his fucking cover up. Then if somebody want to mess with my grandmama and shit, he gets up, getting ready to attack them for fucking with my grandmama. I'm telling you, it was hood, but I was like, Mom, you got to let so many people go because they're not giving you no money and they using your house and tearing it up and tearing up your carpet and don't want to fucking replace it. And then that's when she cuts me out. So I'm not coming around no more. I can't run no more. So after they left and I seen the stuff in the bag, I didn't say nothing. I said, fine, they can have it because I know I'm not going to let them back in here because I'm tired of going through this and she don't respect me. And that was real disrespectful. It really broke my heart what she did to me. So when they left, you didn't know that, Tanya? We had to watch him with that. Make sure his throat cleared out because he gets up there and it's a certain movie that he like to watch or he watching them shaking their ass on the damn TV. He falls to sleep, laid back with his mouth cocked open, snoring like an old nigga. Done Ed, I guess got his dick sucked. They don't want to tell me. Lay back, had his pillow. They had double pillows propped up for him. He had to lay beside a bitch, and my son went in there snoring with his fucking mouth open. With his plate and shit and table over there, his doggy bowl and water and shit. Or we done pour some Coca-Cola with a little shot in there in his damn cup. Over there in his dog bowl. And he go over here, got to a point he wouldn't even eat dog food no more. And wouldn't even eat no fucking dry dog food no more. Because then, you know, I go in there and get him that gourmet kind which got that beef flavor and gravy and stuff. And put the pack. And then I might throw a little rice on the side. Little biscuit. And, you know, he have biscuits and grilled chicken and biscuit and stuff over there. You know, biscuit and rice and mashed potatoes and mac and cheese and salad. I fix him a whole salad. Where he have his goddamn lettuce and sliced cheese, sliced tomatoes, and salt and pepper and stuff. Sometimes I want him to watch it wait, so I get some grilled chicken. I know again fried chicken, and I give him a whole gourmet salad and chop egg and stuff in it. Nigga sit there and eat all. I'm talking about clean the bowl, eat him a whole salad. See? Oh, he had some weed. He had some his weed. And his line, they had a line over there to give him a line and snout. Nigga can snout. See. I couldn't believe it when I found it out. And I seen because I see his moods be different, you know. He be, you know, real paranoid sometime and go back and forth. Then I found out they had him on the goddamn powder, man. I don't know who, I guess I'm my son's friend. He had a cock there, me. Nigga had a cock. I fixed it myself. But sometimes, you know, if I want to hurry, I go up there to Zaxby's. I get him a carb, one of them salads. They have all the chicken and vegetables and shit. If I couldn't get him no carb salad and shit, made him some Mexican corn, grilled his corn and stuff. You think I am lying? I'm not being silly. I'm not lying. I will give him that. The same stuff I you see I feed these people on the off. I feed the dog. I will grill his corn and stuff. Sear his corn or get on the Zaxby's, get him some chicken finger with some french fries and a full salad. And he sit down and ate it. He loved, you know, he eat healthy. He was thick because he eat healthy and stuff, you know. To the point, you think I'm lying? Start feeding the dog some good soul food. That dog is not going to want no dry dog food no more. Anybody got a dog, tell everybody I'm lying. Once you give him the dog eating collard green, Thanksgiving and Christmas, he eating a side of goddamn roast turkey, ham, baked chicken and gravy on it with turkey and dressing and stuff. You think I'm lying? Start feeding a dog like that. It's going to be hard to get. Thank you, Tanya. They will not. They'll turn their fucking back and nose up when you try to give them that dry puppet chow and puppet nation shit. They will not eat that shit. You have to fight them. Once they get that food, like the nigga in the drive-thru with his fucking window rolled down with his head out the window. And so, yeah, I want 2 drinks. I want 2 salads and give him my I want 2 order of fries. Give me the 2 value meal. One for him and one for me with the Coke and shit. What you want, nigga? Coke or Sprite? Because we're going to cut that with some liquor later on. He didn't even want that unless it was that gourmet meat in the can with the rich gravy and sauce and stuff over it. If it wasn't that, we get us a value meal so we can cut it up and split it. You know, and then have a salad on the side. See. You think I'm not lying? I'm not fucking lying, man. See, call it dog lucky. But I stopped coming over there because I ain't like everything that was going on. So I didn't say nothing when they had my stuff in their bag, leaving my house. I said, that's fine. They had left in the morning time. I said, that's fine because I know I ain't going to say that. My grandmother know I never charged her. I just gave her stuff. You don't have to steal it. I'll give you anything you want out of my house. It's yours. But they did that, so I ain't saying that. I said, well, I'm not going to let you back in to do that since you want to do this for this your little niece here, your great grandchild, your great great grandchild. Because that was my grandmother. I think you say great grandmother. You do that to your great grandmother. I couldn't believe you do that to an elderly person that have taken care of you since she was a baby. And my grandmother, I knew something had to wrong her mind to be out there homeless like that and running around from place to place like that old. It just doesn't add up. You see what I'm saying? A 20-some-year-old that's mental retarded and an 80-some-year-old that's very wise, got a whole bunch of life skill, survivor skills, life experience, established, and now is out here running around. I wondered, did my grandmother have Alzheimer's? I knew something was wrong, especially the way she was looking, but she still had enough sense. She wouldn't listen to me. She wouldn't stay with me. She wouldn't let me take her to the doctor. She wouldn't let me take her to look for new housing and structure her business. She didn't want nothing to do with that. And then she disrespected me. So she left. A couple days later, my niece comes back. I'm going to get the rest of our stuff. I'm going to get the duffel bag. And it was a bag that had my stuff in that they stole. I opened the door. I let her get it. She then leaves. And my cousin, that's what bothered me too. My cousin drove her over here to do what she did. And they said my grandmother sent her over here to jump on me. So when she got her stuff, she then made an excuse to start an argument and said that I had her little girl Puma tennis shoes in here. And that's the Puma shit. That was a month before I knew about that. And I never wore Puma. It's never been a big deal. I had it. I know if I never fucked with Puma like that. Until Nipsey. So she's like, you stole my little girl Puma shoes, and they're brand new Puma shoes. I'm like, I just let you in here to go wherever room you wanted to go. I didn't block any room from you. So whatever you knew where your stuff was, I didn't know where it was. So I let you get it. I didn't stop you. I don't know anything about any Puma shoes. I don't even wear Puma shoes. I don't even buy Puma for myself. So you said that I want to wear your little girl's shoes. So what am I going to do? Get some scissors, cut the toe part out, and cut the heel out. And I'm Alexis. I'm going to walk around here with some 2-year-old Puma shoes. God damn it. I'm going to wear your 2-year-old Puma shoe. Hey, everybody. I stole the shoe so I can wear a 2-year-old child shoe and some booty shorts and a pamphlet. So I'm going to put some 2-year-old shorts on, booty shorts on, and some 2-year-old tennis. Okay. See, I didn't even know they were in here. And she's like, and I said, what is wrong? She was screaming. She's like, bitch, you heard me. Bitch, I'll beat your ass, bitch. I'll whoop your motherfucking ass, you stupid ass bitch. And I was just like, okay. And she's like, come outside so I can beat your ass in front of your neighbors. I'm going to beat your ass in your front yard. I was like, no, that doesn't sound too appetizing because I just woke up, so I have no drawers on, no bra, titty swinging. Like, I don't think I want to be in the yard fighting you with my pussy out and my titties out. So I tell you what, my cousins, it's like 3 of them, they're grown, they're in their 40s, and they got this 20-something-year-old here. And they rolled the window down, and they're encouraging her to jump me. Now, that really broke my heart because I've never done anything like that. I've never participated in anything like that. They're telling her to jump her auntie. Now, I've known her since her mother was pregnant with her. So I saw her like a daughter, my relative. Yeah, I posted about it. And they tell, you got grown women, grown older women that got children in their 40s, laughing, kikiing, brought her over here, told her to jump me for my grandmother. Now, that really took the cake. I'm like, damn, my grandmama gonna call a goddamn goon squad on me because you're wrong. And I don't want to tolerate it. I couldn't believe my grandmother called the goon squad. When it called the ghetto low-life hoes, the project hoes in our family to give a young'un a ride to jump on her auntie. And she's saying, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it out in your yard. Plus, they fight their mama, they fight their daughters. I've never done that. I never fist fought with my son or any female in the family. I didn't have the heart to do it. I do now because I'm not going to let you put your hands on me. But I just told her, no, it's not a good look because I've been here almost 20 years. I'm not going to come in my front yard and fight you. And I only got a gown on, pussy out, titty swinging. No, I'm not interested in that. But I tell you what, I popped the lock. I said, I'm going to open the screen door. And I pushed the screen door as far back. I pushed it wide as far back it could go up against the wall. And I said, I tell you what, if you just must fight me, you want to fight an elder, fight your aunt. You can come back in the house and you can jump me in the house. We can fight. This guy said, I don't even want to hit my niece. But it's clear you want to do it to me. And she had all this rage, growling and screaming, picked up a full bottle of Powerade and threw it at my front door, trying to hit me with like a 16-ounce bottle of Powerade. Threw it. It missed me. Of course, I wasn't going to just let it come in the house. I opened the screen door, I put it open, I said, dear, I'm not going to argue with you, but I'm going to let you back in the house. So I popped the lock, had the big door open. I'm standing in between the big door and the screen door. And I said, come in the house and jump me in the house. I know you're comfortable with that. You just left out of here. I don't know why you didn't do it while you were in here, but I'm willing to let you come in here. You know, because I don't want you to say, I'm scared and I'm a punk bitch. And then she starts to say her and her mother are going to come back, which is my half-sister, who just got out of prison in 2014, we're both going to beat your ass. Because you're scared of her. I said, no, I didn't want to fight my sister at one point, and the thought of that did terrify me, having to fight a relative. I don't believe in that, but they clearly believe in doing it to me. I didn't want to hit a relative, hit my sister, my mom, my aunt, nothing like that. I never have done. I never hit either one of them, even though they wanted to do it to me and hit me. I only fought when I was hit by a family member, and that really made me feel guilty to even do it then, but I was hit. But my niece is saying, yeah, I'm going to beat your ass now. So she walked up the sidewalk, and she was a few inches from stepping on the porch and in the door. I kept it open. I didn't move. I gave her some space to walk through. She gets to the door, and I heard spirits in here. They look like two big twins with like a half beast body and from the waist down a man's body. And they said, let her in. And I didn't say anything. And they said, let her in. And so I said, okay. And I said, come on in. And as she gets, I don't know what happened, but when she gets to the door, she's walking, then she does that, and she freezes, and then she starts to grit her teeth, and she's like, I'm not coming in that goddamn house. You're not gonna trick me. And I'm like, I'm trying to trick you in the house. I didn't try to trick you into the house. I just said, am I gonna fight you outside? I'd rather fight you inside the house. So the people don't even know that you're doing this and that. My cousins that I grew up with, knew before you were born, actually drove. They're in their 40s, almost 50 years old. They drove you over here to do this. Or their early 40s. She would not come up on the porch in the house. But she did something strange. She didn't turn her back because she was looking at me and walk away. She started backing away. I'm not coming in your house, bitch. I'm not coming in your motherfucking house. And she starts to back up as she's looking at me. She walks backwards. And I was like, okay. And so at that point, I dialed 911. And I wanted them to hear it. And I said, I'm in my house. I'm not bothering anybody. And I want you to know what is going on in case she comes back and I have to do something to her. So they said, what's going on? And I told them, and they could hear her. I said, you hear that? I said, they're listening to you. You dumb bitch. They're listening to you. I said, keep it up. You come on back up so they can hear you clearly. Because you're not going to do this and get away with it. So my cousin that's driving says, hurry up, get in so we can protect you. I mean, at this time I'm heartbroken because I know my grandmother's behind it. How do I know? Because she calls me on my grandmother's phone, and then she starts to text me on my grandmother's phone and said, you're a dead bitch. Do you understand me? You're a dead bitch. I'm going to bring the blood gang over to your house. They're going to kick your door in, and they're going to blow your fucking head off. Do you hear me, bitch? You're a dead bitch. I know she was with my grandmother, oh, you changed your name. That's not your real name. You're a fake bitch. You're a stupid bitch, and you're a dead bitch. So it was my grandmother's phone. So I knew my grandmother was with her, and I knew they were all together, and she was staying with the same niece that drove her over here. That broke my heart. And I'm like, wow, my grandmother's really getting gangster. She gonna call the motherfucking squad out to whoop my motherfucking ass. And then her gay nephew, I'm hearing this, her gay brother, that unlocks my grandmother's window, niggas walk around the back of her house that she got put out of, grown older men that's married, got girlfriends and shit, steps in the window. He light up his fucking meth pipe, get high to his head, and get his fucking head knocked up against the motherfucking wall from dick slamming down in his motherfucking ass. He tells his sister, my niece, oh yeah, you gotta go whoop auntie's ass. You gotta do that now because she asked you all to leave and say y'all couldn't stay there if y'all wasn't gonna pay no rent and y'all were gonna disrespect her. You gotta go over there and jump auntie. So they come to jump TT. After he pulled dicks out his ass and put the Kotex and whatever he fucking wiping his ass and wiped the snot out his nose and all, might wipe the meth off. You then get up, suck some more dick from somebody you don't know, that you just gave your SSI check to, and gave my grandmother's check and food stamps to, pulled dick and come out your mouth and coughed a few times, and then told your sister to come whoop my ass while y'all are on the phone on standby, and the bitches in the car is giving them the blow by blow on the fucking telephone. Older women keying, watching this young motherfucker do this shit. Okay? They hurry and get her out of here. She starts calling back on my grandmother's phone. She starts texting on my grandmother's phone. I'm in shock. So I just said, do what you got to do. Say what you got to say. It doesn't matter. So the police get here and they're telling me, we have nothing to do with this because this sounds like a civil dispute. And, well, I don't get along with any of my family other than my son. I don't talk to any of my family. And I'm okay with that now. Because I have a lot of people that have become fans of mine, that love me, support me, and donate to me, that treat me better than my blood family has ever treated me. Yeah. Just like he was sitting there one night, my grandmother took up for him, he could never do no fucking wrong, and he had got, see, he gets his check and food stamps, okay? As soon as he gets them, and my grandmother tells him his check is in the mailbox, it's there, he then gets it and he disappears like 3 or 4 days. Every time he comes back, he's broke. And his asshole is leaking and his fucking throat is wide open and sore. How do I know? Because I was there before he kicked my grandmother's doors in and punched the walls in and kicked the holes in. Wouldn't pay. If he had money, wouldn't pay for it. Give it to guys he didn't fucking know. It was this older white man that looked like he was sick too. Old man, like he's about 50, 60 years old. A old dick sucker. Okay. He comes to pick him up. He used the bathroom and my son got so mad and he was getting ready to beat my nephew's ass. And I told my son, don't do it, because that man went in the bathroom and shit all around, not in the toilet, all around the toilet, on the sides of the toilet. No, I don't need to focus on doing a reading for anybody because I'm talking about my own issues. So if that's what you're here for, just plug out and go somewhere else. You're not going to keep telling me like I'm not a human and like you pay me to do every reading. I'm dealing with the death of my grandmother, okay? Just like Slim 400 was killed 2 weeks ago or so, my grandmother's physically dead, okay? So don't fucking come over here and tell me who I need to read, who was fucking murdered, because my grandmother is sitting in the morgue right now, being embalmed. Don't disrespect me. I have feelings. I'm a human. I have a life. I have a loss. I have a pain. I have a grandmother that raped. So if you don't want to hear it, get the fuck off the live. Don't keep coming in here. Read this person. Tell me this. Tell me this. That person shot. That my grandmother's dead. Physically dead anyway. I didn't get any sleep. I was up all night. She was fucking with me. I put her pie there. Somebody was like, well, what did you put in the pie? Condensed milk or sweetened milk? It doesn't matter what the fuck I put in the pie. I showed the picture because she wanted a sweet potato pie. I made 2 sweet potato pies. One for me and Nipsey with the fruit and cream. I made another one just plain because she never liked cream and shit like that. Like I do and all the berries and elaborate things in China. So it was the same pie. I took them out of the stove at the same fucking time. I put Cool Whip on both pies. The pie I put the Cool Whip on for her started fucking bubbling. The Cool Whip started to bubble. I took a picture of it and I gave it to my friend and I put it up on the community forum on my YouTube. And I gave it to my assistant to put up on Facebook to see that I wasn't lying. I even called my cousin in Texas she was with. I'm like, you got to see this. The pie's not hot. I cut a piece out and I ate it. And I put my finger down between the pie. The pie's not hot. It's cool, but yet the Cool Whip kept bubbling. I knew it was my grandmother. That's never happened to me. And she fucked with me all night and kept waking me up. And she's like, she wanted me to cook for her. And you know what really tripped me out about it is because my grandmother is like a Jesus freak, like a true Bible thumper. And my cousin was with her dying. And she said, my grandmother kept saying, I want to see Jesus. I want to see Jesus. I'm ready to see Jesus. I want to go. I want to go. I want to see Jesus. And I said, are you serious? She says, yeah, she starts begging to see Jesus. And she was seeing her sister and said her sister was sitting in a chair. I knew who she was talking about. I knew they were here. And then my cousin confirmed it when she said, yeah, they were here. She said her sister was in the room. Her sister was waiting on her. Her sister came to get her. Her sister was sitting in a chair by the bed in the hospital. So after they did that, like February 2013, I didn't see my grandmother anymore. She didn't speak to me after they did that. So when the police came, they're telling me, we have nothing to do with this. Why did you call us? This is a civil issue. I said, no, I'm calling you because if she comes back, it might be an altercation. And I just want to let you know that they're coming to my house attacking me. I didn't do anything. So I'm going to defend myself. So he's like, I'm telling you, this is not our issue. This is not a criminal issue. It's a civil. And I said, I'm telling you, officer, it's a criminal issue because she said, I'm a dead bitch. I'm dead tonight. The blood gang is coming and they're going to kick my door in and blow my brains out tonight. And he's like, you have proof of it? I said, yeah, I have a text. And I said, you can see my phone if you want to. I give you permission to look through my phone. He takes it. He starts looking at the text and he goes, oh. I said, you see what I'm saying? And then he gives me the phone back. I said something to her. And when I said something to her, she said, you heard me. You're a dead bitch. You stupid bitch. I'm going to fuck you up, dumb bitch. I said, okay. You're going to kill me like today or like tonight or around lunchtime or something tomorrow. You know, I always try to like be sarcastic about this shit. Make a joke out of shit. The phone rings. It's her. She's on my grandmother's phone, so I know my grandmother's with her, which is also like killing me. I can't believe that this is happening to me at the time, so I have to try to keep my composure, but I'm really hurt because this is my grandmother's phone. The police goes, answer the phone. I answer it, and I'm like, hello? And she's like, yeah, bitch. And I said, oh, that's my new name. Okay. I said, so you said that you're going to kill me? She said, yeah, as a matter of fact, you're dying tonight. I said, oh, yeah, me. I said, I guess I better go get my stuff together, have me a nice lunch or drink. So she's like, shut up. So she's saying this, tonight's your night. I said, okay. He said, give me the phone. He says, do you realize that you just made a terroristic threat to your auntie in front of a DeKalb County police officer? She goes, you're not a police. He said, yeah, I am. She's like, fuck you. You're not shit. You're not shit. You're not going to do nothing to me. She threatened me first. And he said, no, she didn't, because I just read all your threats to her. They were all one-sided. You threatened to kill her, and you're going to bring the blood gang over here to blow her brains out and to kick her door in and tear up her house. He said, you made the threats. She's like, no, I didn't. She started. She made threats to me. And she's saying this to him. He already knows she's lying. And I'm just like thanking God, because I can't believe that this is happening like it's happening, because he said I was lying and it was a civil issue. And I'm like, officer, I know you don't know me. Like I said, you know what? This stuff is kind of embarrassing for me to tell, but I'm going to tell it. Because I talk about issues and I talk about women and I talk about women, bossing up and step your pussy up and stuff. And don't stop whining about shit and deal with shit head on, because I'm choosing to deal with this head on. And I can't believe I'm not crying, but I've done my crying all weekend, just going through a mixture of emotions, because I'm left with a lot of wounded child issues to heal behind this, along with the other issues as an adult that they want to put on me and bring me into. Now they fist fight with each other and they disrespect each other, the mothers, the daughters, the aunties, the nieces, and they want to now initiate me for this. And I'm saying, nah, you're not gonna beat on me. You're not a 20-year-old, you whoop my ass, 20, 30-year-old whoop my ass. Nah, you're not gonna do that to me, because I'm an elder and you don't respect elders like you're doing my grandma because she lets you. No, that's not gonna happen here. So he's listening to her, and then she's saying, basically, fuck you, you're nobody. She hangs up. Once he said, no, you're lying. You did it to your aunt. You're lying. She hangs up. My grandmother won't answer the phone. So at this point, I said, now can I have what I want? And he said, yeah, I'll be back. I'm going to issue the warrant. He issues the warrant. My grandmother then at that point starts to hide my niece. She starts to move around Atlanta, different parts, to hide my niece. The other people in my family, like that brought her over here, that knew about it, They start all getting together to hide my niece and to protect her from what she did to me and what she was trying to do to me. Finally, they got that ass. They locked her ass up earlier this year, but it took so long because the bitch was running. I didn't have an address for her. The address that she was at, she started to move around, and my grandmother participated in it. As she's clearly very sick. My grandmother's when I'm talking not mental, I'm talking about physically. My grandmother's sick, and it's cold, and she's moving around, and she's helping to hide her and her boyfriends because she does deal with blood gang members. They're helping her, but I'm meanwhile seeing videos on YouTube. She's getting high. I don't know what she's snorting, pills she's popping. She thinks this is cute. She's moved from hotel to hotel, showing herself getting high and drinking while she's trying to avoid the warrant. I wouldn't drop the warrant. She got arrested. I know she got arrested because I spoke to the DA. And I told the DA what I'm telling you. And I said, I'm just really heartbroken. You know, that they put my grandmother's old. They dogged her, beat her, used her. Okay, so that was maybe 6-7 months ago. I haven't heard anything. I still don't know where my grandmother was. If she's bringing me the messages within 2 weeks, I know something's wrong. And then I get a call saying my grandmother's in Texas. This is the past few days. This was going on. And she's telling me to be very calm, be very kind. Keep the high road. Remember the good things about your grandma. Don't start any arguments about your grandma. I couldn't sleep Tuesday. I couldn't sleep Wednesday. I couldn't sleep Thursday. I tossed and turned, and I woke up with my neck hurting and my back hurting like I had not slept. I'm thinking about my grandmother. And I know she was thinking about me. I said, I know she wanted to talk to me because I keep thinking about my grandmother. And so she, Friday, nobody called me, nobody told me. I said, you know what? I'm just going to take a chance and get cussed out. And I'm going to call my grandma. Thank you, Alancita, for the donation. Thank you, Charlie's Brown. Thank you, baby. Thank you for everybody for the donations. And Friday, I started going on Google looking for my cousin's name, address in Texas. I couldn't find it. I went on Facebook. I didn't see her. I saw a lot of people with the same name, but I didn't see her. So I took a chance and I called my mother's house and nobody answered. So I thought of a friend that I grew up around, a family friend, and I left a message on Facebook. And it was early Friday because I had to talk to my grandmother Friday because my grandmother told me she was dying Friday. She was going to physically die and get out of her body Friday. I didn't have any proof of it. Thank you, Janisha. I love you too. But I knew my grandmother. I had been thinking about her, and I had heard this and had confirmation like that after Nipsey told me my nephew confirmed it. He said, she's not here. She's in Texas. And I said, okay, I'm just going to accept it. It is what it is. And I won't try to reach out because nobody wants me to know. And then I got up. I said, fuck it. They're just going to have to curse me out or tell me you can't talk to her. That's why we didn't tell you she was leaving or let you see her or tell her goodbye. I got up early Friday and I said, I'm going to talk to my grandmother. I have to talk to her today. She's leaving today. This is a few days ago, Friday 17th. And you have to look at when people are born and when they leave because she left on the full moon. When people leave on the full moon like that, and they're considered black, they're not black. They're indigenous people. They are a part. I'm sure they have so a lot of them have some African blood, but they're also Native American, so-called Native American. They're indigenous, and their tribe is calling them, and it's always around the moon phase. Even though women are ruled by the moon, and our female organs are ruled by the moon, and men are ruled by the sun. But I already knew about the Native American blood my grandmother has, and I just didn't know all the tribes. I knew the Cherokee, but I believe she had other tribes. And when she came in here, she's been in here the past few days, she started telling me. And I said, wow, I thought you wanted to see Jesus. I guess you see that that's not what you thought. There's no Jesus you thought you were going to meet because you're over here in my house and you're giving me a menu with Nip. So she stayed in all night, and every time I'm going to sleep, she's knocking me awake. I'm like, Mom, I can't. I thought you were going to see Jesus. I thought you didn't believe in the stuff I believe in. Now you see it's not like that you're over there. You wouldn't listen to me. She stayed in my room and fucked with me all night. Friday, when I got up, I said, I'm going to talk to you. And I started saying to her, like, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Mom, I'm not mad at you. I forgive you. I'm going to find you. I want to talk to you, Mom. I want to tell you goodbye. And I want to tell you it's okay to leave your body without any guilt or any unresolved conflict in you about what I said and how I felt and what happened to me. I don't particularly like you, but I love you. I don't like what happened, but I'm going to have to heal that and get over that. I don't want you to die thinking that I hate you. I forgive you. I'm not mad at you, Mom. I want to talk to you. I want to tell you goodbye. And I want to let you know that it's okay to go and know that I forgive you. I kept saying this for 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I got up Friday and I didn't know why, but I said, she's leaving today. And I don't give a fuck. Whatever cursing I have to deal with, whatever humiliation, I'm going to deal with because I got to talk to my grandma today. And this was Friday 17th. 2 days ago, I said, she's leaving today. I heard her say she was leaving me today. And I left a message. Thank you for the donation. And thank you, Charlie. Thank you, baby. Thank you, everybody, for the donations. And I left the message for the relative maybe 11 o'clock Friday morning, this past Friday morning, couple days, on the 17th, December 17th. And he didn't respond. I said, I hope he doesn't do this to me. It took him about 3 hours to respond, Atlanta time. I don't know how much difference it is, Texas time. But when he responded, he said, here's your mother's husband's number. He changed the number. That's why you didn't get a ringing. I called him and I said, I heard that Mama's in Texas and she's dying of lung cancer. He said, it's not. Thank you for the donation. He said, it's not lung, it's liver. And I said, so she's in Texas, really? She said, yes, she's with her other daughter. So he said, here's the phone number. I already talked to them. I called. I said, hi, Auntie. And she goes, hi, Tia. I mean, Alex. I said, no, it's okay. If you want to call me Tia, it's okay. I don't take it because of circumstance. I know you don't mean any harm. She knew me since I was a baby, since I was born. I said, it's okay. You can call me whatever you want me to call me today. I said, is Mama with you? She says, yes. Thank you, Hadia. I said, is it true? Is she dying of cancer? Lung cancer or liver? She said, Alex. She said, it's everywhere. It's the lungs. It's the liver. It has moved everywhere. She said, my niece, she said they had her on FaceTime with the baby because she kept asking about the baby and she wanted to talk to the baby before she physically died, before she physically left her body. I said, may I please talk to her? I had to find you. I had to take a risk. She said, I picked her up 10 days ago. I said, wait a minute, you just got her? She said, I got her 10 days ago. She said, your niece, had her in a rooming house, and the lady that had her in a rooming house was taking $560 from her a month, or either I think like a week. She was thinner than you saw. She said you could count her ribs. Now, mind you, my grandmother is 5'10", where a size 10 shoe, an Amazon bitch, an Amazon. That's why I said she looked better fat, because she was a big girl. She was almost a 6-footer. And my cousin told me you could count her bones. She was so thin. She was wearing a pamper, and people were saying my niece was taking her to her friend's house who was taking her money and then putting her out and said she stank. Because she was so full of cancer. She couldn't stand up barely. She could barely stand up, barely walk. She was wearing a pamper. And my cousin said she would flinch so bad when she peed in the pamper because all of the skin on her butt was gone. Her butt was raw. And you can see all of her bones, and her hair was missing. And her teeth were missing. Not just her partial. I said, did you have, I asked my cousin yesterday, been talking, past couple of days. I said, did you see Grandma's partial? Because she sent me a picture of her in the hospital bed. I said, can I talk to Grandma because I know she's leaving today? And my cousin said she left already. She left a couple of hours ago. I said, so she did leave today, Friday, December 17th. She said she left this morning. I said, that's when I left the messages. I started leaving them around this morning. Yep, she said she had sores too on her butt, and her butt was raw. and she was on the floor, and they said it clearly must have got in her brain because they were saying my grandmother was using the bathroom on the floor of my niece's friends' houses, or they would take her to motels. They dumped her in a boarding house. Said my niece's boyfriend called my aunt and said, I just want to let you know I put your mother out because she has no more money and she smells. Everybody says she smells. Let me tell you who these people were. These were her nieces and nephews of her sister. My grandmother had, it was 10 sisters in all. These were people she cooked for that ate all of her food for Christmas and Thanksgiving that always Aunt Kate this, Aunt Kate that. Because my grandmother's name is Kate. But when she got put out because my niece and nephew using her and hitting her, like you said, true elder abuse and stealing out of her purse, she went with relatives who then stole some more. You to give me some money. I don't want your food stamp with gross. You give me some money or you get the fuck out. And we're letting their boyfriends put her out. I didn't know. Selling her furniture, throwing her clothes on the ground. But she didn't want to stay here because I told her the niece and nephew and running men in and out, and they both sucking dick. And they both getting fucked all in the goddamn intestine, leaking out. They can't do it here. Running men out of her house all day and all night. The dog eating pussy. The brother sucking dick. The sister sucking dick. They fighting which one the prettiest. Which one getting the most dick. He calling her a bitch. Whooping her motherfucking ass. Because he want the same thing she want. Some hard, stiff goddamn dick. They both running niggas in and out. Drinking, smoking meth, snorting powder, popping the molly, and sucking dick. Getting fucked in the mouth, pussy all in the asshole. They both competing for dick, a brother and damn sister, man. And I said, you weren't going to do it here. So my grandmother didn't want to stay. Because I wasn't going to let her do that. I said, they can visit you, but they can't stay here. So there was nothing I could do to stop that from going on because she didn't want to listen to me. I couldn't, because my grandmother's very stubborn and strong-willed. I mean, who's going to fight a bitch that's 5'10" with size 10 feet and size 10 goddamn hands that could bear claw and grab you like a big-ass nigga in the goddamn WWE? I done seen my grandmother pull pistols on niggas, put a pistol in they fucking nose, young nigga, and then say something, slap a nigga like a bitch down on the fucking pavement, man. Kick a nigga in the ass out in the parking lot and pull it and say, I'll blow your brains out and beat your ass. I'm literally not lying. I'm like 9 and 10 and I saw my grandmother do shit like that. Who gonna check her? The fuck I'm gonna check her? And then even when the past couple of years, she got sick, I still wasn't gonna do that. Just my grandmother. Even though they were doing it. I wasn't gonna live with that curse on me to do that to my grandmother. She was about that. She had me in Herndon Homes. Taking care of me. I remember I was like 12. She had me on a timer and she trained me to run and do gymnastics every day and how to eat. And she made me hula hoop. She taught me all this stuff. And she didn't know what she was doing, but she said, I'm going to do it to you. She didn't do it to any other kids. She did it to me. And that made me really train me for what I do and how I think and when I implement it and how I ate. And she had the garden on the side of the building. Because she wanted me to eat that. And she would go to the curb market downtown Atlanta and get our food and fresh big meats and stuff like that and fresh stuff from the curb market. So I would go to the store. I was timed. She would call the store because it was like Jews that ran the store up on the hill in the projects. And there was a black lady that answered the phone that ran the cash register. She was like, she would tell her, she's like, look, I'm going to send her up to the store. She should be up there and back in about 15 minutes. If she doesn't, you call her, and I'm going to come out looking with my motherfucking gun. So I was timed, so I knew I didn't have no time to play or talk to no boys or none of that because she had me in check. So we go to the store, and whatever she wanted, she didn't eat the meat because she heard from people that worked in there that the meat was spoiled and they used bleach and shit on the meat. So she would go to the farm or go to the curb market, get her meat, and she would grow her vegetables and stuff. What my grandmother liked, her cigarettes, and the Colonial loaf of bread, because the Colonial bakery was in Atlanta and the Coca-Cola plant was in Atlanta, not too far from the projects in Techwood Homes. So that's all she wanted, some fresh bread, and she wanted her cigarettes. That's all she really get from up there. So I get that, I walk home, and I remember a couple of guys, like teenage guys, I'm like 12, so these guys like 17, 18, maybe 20 years old. They stand in the bushes, psst, psst. Come here. I can't come here, my grandma's waiting on me, I'm on a timer. You know, I'm gonna wait for you, little girl. when you grow up and I'm going to fuck you. And so I went and told my grandma. She said, who said that? I said, what's her name, son? And that's him right there, the light skin one. My grandmother strolls up the sidewalk. Now, I don't know if you all, the one from the South, you all going to know what I'm talking about. You have your work clothes, you have your dress clothes, you have your school clothes, you have your play clothes. My grandmother had her street clothes like whoop a bitch ass clothes. You know, where you got some old pants, you cut the pants off at the fucking knee, you get your fucking old socks and old shoes and shit. Old button up shirt, your scarf with your grease. Okay. And your blade or whatever. My grandmother calmly, he didn't see it coming. She said, come here. You see this, my granddaughter, you know her? Yes, ma'am. Yes, Miss Kate. Did you tell her? Did you was whispering in the bushes until you're gonna wait for her? How you wanna have sex with her? Click. Did you say that? You're gonna do that? I'll blow your fucking head off. And I'm standing there watching everybody's for all the drug dealing niggas that beat bitches' asses and shoot niggas. They didn't even fucking pull a gun and flinch with my grandmother. They didn't, as far as like getting ready to jump her. She's like, you know, I don't give a fuck about you young motherfuckers. And she had, I got this so country, she got a gun in a paper sack. So but they know what it is because she pulls it back, click. You're going to do what to her? Oh, no, Miss Kate. I don't care. That's the kind of grandmother I had. So I, like the way they hit her, mistreated her, I could not imagine doing something like that to my grandmother. Even when she was, I mean, my grandmother was like the type fuck bitches niggas, like she said, what y'all call twerking and bending over on your knees, popping your ass and shaking your ass. We call them like doing a dog. We take out, she had her own bottle with the paper sack, going to the juke joint up the street in the project. They had a juke joint. They get on their knees with their culottes and shit, they shorts off, take her shoes off, and cause she had a big ass, no stomach, little bitty waist, some big titties and big legs. She was built like an Amazon, fine as fuck, and then big and tall on top of it. So she's there wobbling and wobbledy on her knees. A nigga see it and like it. She drinking, she fuck him. She fucks him, and then his girlfriend comes up, you fucked my man, that's my man. Next thing you know, wham! I fucked your man, I want to fuck your man, I like your man, and what? And I'll beat your ass. Next thing you know, she does that. She uses like women that's doing that to her. It's not very many tall women. Like you just see, it's a lot of tall women, but they're usually not in the same area. So this woman was like shorter than her. She slaps this woman about fucking her nigga. I fucked him. I like it. I'll fuck him again. You don't like it? Wham. She's like, yeah, I'll beat your ass. I'll cut you. She's like, really? You want to cut me? Bitch, don't talk in the air. Do it now. The lady starts running. My grandmother takes off running. She kicks her fucking shoes off. They running through the projects at midnight. My grandmother's mad because she can't catch the little bitch because the bitch is shorter and faster than my grandmother. So everybody's saying it. My mama and my auntie is crying and they screaming, Mama, stop it. Mama, stop it. Mama, come in the house. Stop it for the cop police. For something happened to you. Fuck that. My grandmother is barefoot with no socks, no stockings, kicked off her shoes. They done got her shoes. Fucking, yeah. That's the kind of grandma I saw. Man. She would have me on one hip drinking cold liquor with the fucking jug and shit in the other fucking hand. So you think I'm tell her what the fucking, I'll take your man. She did in the front. You ain't like it. Bitch, what the fuck you say, bitch? Snatch, they throw liquor, water. My grandma said when she finally caught her, she was beating her ass so hard they had to get a big bucket of water and throw it on my grandmother to make my grandmother leave the lady to pull her off of her. I seen my grandmother do shit like that. When I got older, I saw my grandma do shit like that. So I just wouldn't, and she was wet, and that's the only thing that shocked her, because she had a violent temper. And she really didn't like women. So it was easy for her to go in on a woman, but the woman started it. So she pulls, they had to get her when they doused her with the water and separated, and the lady took off running. They were like, run, Clarissa, run. Run, Clarissa, run. Run, Clarissa. They cheering her to run and get her ass up out of there. She runs. She could run too. And that made my grandma mad because she couldn't catch her. So when she catch her, she dive into that ass and they got her off. She runs the house. She didn't bother my grandmother anymore. Everybody knew in project how my grandmother was. And anybody wanted to bother me, it's like, I don't think you know whose granddaughter that is. That's Kate's granddaughter. Don't fuck with her because you don't want to see that big motherfucker come out that house. And the motherfucker can fight barehanded and shoot a bitch. And cut a bitch. She had the knife, the gun, the feet, and legs, and hands. She didn't give a fuck. Throwing shit on you and lie. Yes. So I really wasn't going to bother my grandmother. That was the first time I said something to her out of the way, and I felt guilty for doing that. I didn't touch her. I just said, because again, to tell you the situation, and that was heartbreaking for me. So they go. I don't know what happens to her because I know she didn't want to talk to me. And then I started thinking about her, and I was like, something's wrong with my grandmother, and she wants to talk to me. And so I'm talking to my cousin about it, and I'm just like, yeah, I know. My grandmother lived a long, long time. And yeah, that's a gangster grandma. And that's why it bothers me too, because she always protected me when I was little, and then that came up, and I was shocked the way she handled it. But they didn't keep me anymore. But she had me when my mother left me in Pampers, so that's the reason why I would excuse a lot of stuff my grandmother did, because my grandmother's messy on the motherfucker. Messy down a motherfucker, and my grandmother's a narcissist, and that's where my mother gets it from. They messy, they keep up shit, they tell lies, they love a lot of drama, but I still loved her because she had me in Pampers, and nobody wanted me. My own mother didn't want me. Um, so I always respected her for that, and I always go out of my way and take a lot of shit off my grandmother because of that. Yes, mother. Yeah. And so when my cousin told me that, I said, so she left today. She said, about a couple of hours ago. You missed her. And I said, it's okay, because I had to wait for them to call me back and give me the number, and I knew it was going to be today. So I'm comforted. I said, can I see her? Is she with you now? She kept it in the bra, goddamn it. My grandmother had it in the paper sack, in her panties and pants. Girl, I don't know how the women did that back then. Like you said, a bra. I didn't know they weren't gonna go shoot themselves, and then had it in the fucking in their drawers and shit, on their side, in their pocketbook, and pull that shit and click that shit. Had that shit loaded, goddamn, like fully loaded. Put it on a nigga. You said your grandma sounds like my mama with the timers, and then the 511. She used the extension cords. Oh Lord, your grandmama whooped grown people ass with extension. You know what? I don't think my grandmother could get to the extension because she was busy putting hands, feet, and legs on a bitch, mouth on a bitch, knife on a bitch. I mean, just hood as a motherfucker. But people like that, and a lot of men like that about her, and they respect, even young niggas respected my grandmother. Dope just never bothered my grandma. Um, so I talked to my cousin. I said, is she there? Can I see her? And she said, she's not here. We just had her taken to the funeral home. She said, but when she was here earlier, I got a picture I can show you. And she sent me the picture. She was with my grandma. And it broke my heart because my grandmother was so thin, so frail. But it was something when I looked at my grandmother's, yes, hands, feet, and bullets. Yeah, hands, feet, and leg. Don't forget the legs now. You need the leg to put the feet down. Feet and leg, bullets, knife, razors. She didn't give a fuck. When she showed me another picture, she was looking at the camera. She looked into the camera, and even though, thank you, Mary. Yeah, I do share them because, like I said to you earlier when I first started getting into the story, so much drama, and I'm embarrassed about this stuff. That this goes on, and I even told myself, I told on my son, but I don't tell people, the stand up vagina power and the boss up and all that whining and shit when I won't, because I have to do more healing. I have to create healing around this, and for other people that are going through losing a narcissistic mom, grandma, hurt them, you don't like them, but you love them because they hurt you and they break your heart. So you got these mixed emotions about them. It's not like my grandma as a person, but I loved her as a woman because she was the only mother I knew when I was a little girl. So I understand. I'm caught in between worlds and feelings, and I've been just working through it. And I wasn't going to talk. I'm like, I don't know, I might come back January. But then I said, no, it's some people that might need to hear my story and what I'm going through. So when I looked at my grandmother, it was yesterday, she sent me another picture. And we call her mama when we call her grandma. She had her glasses on, and my grandmother's a general. because the look in her eyes, she was very strong. She still looked very strong and very proud, and she didn't blink. And my cousin, and I know my grandmother is this way. I only saw my grandmother cry one time when I was 10 years old, and I had to run to the bus stop to tell her that there was a call from Tennessee. Her mother, which was my great grandmother, they died the same way. My great grandmother's from Atlanta. She left to visit her other daughter in Tennessee and died in Tennessee, and they had to ship her back to Atlanta. My grandmother was taken from Atlanta a couple of weeks ago to Texas and died in another state. The only thing is, they said they're not going to send her back to us. So I'll never see my grandmother again. I won't see her at her funeral. I won't be able to tell her goodbye because they said they don't want, her other daughter doesn't want to send her back. She wants to keep her there. So, and that's when Nipsey was like, don't do it. Remember the good things. Remember the good times. And respect it. And so I told and my aunt was like, you can forget it. She's not coming back to Atlanta. You're not going to see her again. And that's just what it is, because I want her to stay with me. I said, yes, ma'am. If you didn't get her, she would have died down here. And this is where she wanted to die. But she would have died a very painful, humiliating, degrading death. Dehydrated, emaciated, incapacitated, totally abused as an elder. And nobody stepped in and called the police. My grandmother wouldn't tell on my niece and nephews. As a matter of fact, when I talked to my aunt yesterday, I talked to my cousin, she said they're looking at my grandmother's bank account. They're still stealing money from my grandmother. Using it for Ubers, going shopping and shit, going to my grandmother's bank account while she's lying in the morgue. No, not in the morgue, excuse me. She's at the funeral home being embalmed. And they're stealing her money. Enjoying her death. We looked at it and we saw 3 of cups. 3 bitches are celebrating and still taking my grandmother's money. And nobody's reported to the police. And so she sent me the picture and she said, Alexis, Tia, Alexis, I said, you can call me the one that does, it's okay, babe. I know you don't mean no harm, because she said, Alex, Mama never cried. And she said Monday they finally took my grandmother to the hospital because my grandmother didn't go to the hospital. She wouldn't let anybody take her to the hospital. When they took her this past Monday, the doctor took an x-ray and said that her lungs and all of her organs and her liver was so big, even though her body was so little on the outside, they were covered in cancerous tumors. I don't know, Sam, which you're going to ask him that. I'm not answering the question. That's not what the show is about tonight. I'm taking time for me to deal with my own death. So if you have a question about Nipsey and Selena, go ask another psychic, because I consider it very disrespectful to me. Once I've told everybody what it's about, don't ask me, because I'm not doing a reading for anyone else tonight. I'm dealing with my own pain and my own issues and my own family death and the loss of my grandmother. Don't ask me, and I'm not answering either. Go ask someone else. When I saw my grandmother, she was so strong. She wasn't whimpering. She wasn't crying. But even her doctor said she was in so much pain. He couldn't believe that she was quiet, very calm. They had her on sedatives, of course, but she was sitting up very calm, very quiet, never complained. But the doctor said she had to be in extreme pain to see all of her organs swollen. What do you mean the show must go on? Are you talking about me in my life? Who are you talking to? The show must go on. What do you mean by that comment? I would like to know if you're talking to me. Before I say something, I'm not going to assume. What do you mean by that? Yeah, she was very strong. She was in a lot of pain. All of her organs were inflamed. It had metastasized with cancerous tumors. They were really big and covered all over, and she never complained. She didn't go to the doctor for a few years, so we didn't even know that. And while they were beating her and robbing and stealing her money every day, and then put her out when they run up her check and run up her food stamp card. Yeah, they put her on. She was on morphine when she got there. I think she might have on Percocet. They had her on a combination of things to keep her relaxed because they knew she was in pain by looking at her insides, and she never said anything. And when I saw in the picture, I said it's the same grandmother that I knew, very, very strong. And I looked at her and I looked in her eyes. I don't know, but I felt like my grandmother, that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to go. Yep, they had morphine on her, but they had to give her the morphine. She was dying. Her organs were so big and so full of cancer that the doctor said, I can't give her chemo because it's so far gone. It would be too toxic and said the chemo would kill her because it was so bad. Well, I mean, she's not resting to me because, I see them. She's been here. And when that happened to my pie, uh, the, um, the whipped cream, I put it on the pie, and the whipped cream started to bubble. I said, Mom, this is your pie, and we have our pie. I gave me 2 potato pies. And she kept saying, I want a potato pie, I want a potato pie. I sent the picture to my cousin in Texas. I said, do you see this? This has never happened to me before. She said, I'm not surprised because Mama hadn't had a potato pie in so long because she didn't have her own place and they were moving her around. Nobody cooked for her and she could not stand to cook for herself. She did not, yes, she was tired, baby. But she could have easily let them alone and she wouldn't let them alone. She said she wanted to go out like her mom. And she, yes, Mary, that's a beautiful mix. Please learn about all of your cultures. She didn't have a potato pie. So she kept asking me all night what map. She said, I want a potato pie. I see what you're cooking, and you're cooking in Nipsey, and Nipsey had talked to her, and Nipsey liked her. And so she feels comfortable with Nipsey, so he's like, make Granny, talk to Granny, and he backed up because he kept saying it, and I was looking at him, and I was like, no, no, no. Nipsey, no, that's not what you're saying, no. And he would just look, and he wouldn't say it. I said, that's what you're saying to me. And then he just looked down and he wouldn't say anything. And he was getting me ready. And that's exactly what happened because I thought that I would be able to see her. And they're going, you're not going to see her because we're not sending her back to be buried with her mom. And that's just what it is. And if you don't like it, too bad. And I didn't do this. I said, okay, I respect that. All the other relatives that dogged my grandmother out and mistreated her have been calling to Texas, cussing my aunt out and cussing my cousin out. I didn't do it. And I said, this is what he was talking about. Let it go. Love her. Forgive her. Help her. I'm not going to see her physically because they said, we're not sending her back to y'all. Even though we know that's where she wants to be, we're not sending her back to y'all. Y'all shouldn't have did what you did. And I said, do you understand that I haven't talked to my grandma in 2 years? I had nothing to do with this. Never hit her. I never robbed her. And I didn't take, when she was here, I didn't take a dime. She was like, Alexis, I don't believe, thank you, Valerie, but what can I, arguing with it is not going to change it. No, they didn't, and said they didn't have to respect it. I didn't even know. I wish, they said they didn't have my phone number. I just wanted to see her and tell her goodbye, but I know what I would have done if I saw her. I would have took her. And I would have took care of her because this is what I used to do. My grandmother liked pork chops and fat back and hog mogs and stuff. But one thing my grandmother would do when she didn't feel well, and I kind of wonder how long this stuff was there. I used to help her shake it off, and I would do prayer for her. She would let me pray for her. She would let me do spiritual cleansings for her. I would get, I could hear on the phone, like, Mom, why are you rattling like that? Like, why is your head like that? And she would say, I can't breathe. My sinuses is messed up. I said, you want some juice? Will you drink it if I make it? I thought she was lying to me. And so I got somebody to go to the store. I got big bunches of collard greens, green apple, ginger, carrots, beets, and I put the herbs, the detoxer in it, powdered herbs in it, and I juiced like I would do it 3 at a time, like every 3 to 5 days because I knew she was going to drink it and I thought she was lying to me. So I would juice all this stuff fresh, wash it, scrub it, disinfect it and stuff, juice it, and then I'd drive over and watch her drink it because I thought she was lying to me. My grandmother's, and I sweetened it with the carrot and green apple so it wasn't so bitter with all the collards in it and stuff. Because I drink it bitter, I don't worry about it. My grandma drank that stuff. And then she drank. She said, that's good right there. That's good. And then and I sit and watch her. After I watch her, about 30 minutes go by. You hear no mucousy rattle and congestion in her head. I said, how do you feel? She said, I feel good. I can breathe now. She starts spitting everything up. I said, I got you 2 jars. You got 3 days to drink them, because the longer you sit there, the enzymes start to die. So you don't want to keep it over 3 days. She liked the juice. I could get her to drink the juice. And I noticed that when she drinks the juice, and she was a big lady, so I knew she wasn't going to hold 16 ounces too long, because she drink half in the morning. And I'm like, Mom, drink about 3-4 ounces for lunch and wait for the finale. After you done ate, you done drank your water, brush your teeth. I do. Yeah, when I talk about that, Nipsey told me to stick about that part. He's like, don't dwell on all the stuff that made you unhappy. Get the stuff she gave you that you love, that help open your brain and train you. The toys, how you love to cook, how you love to be in the garden with your grandma. He said, get that and focus on that. Don't, the way everybody's cursing and threatening to jump my aunt and jump my cousin when she comes to Atlanta. The same niece is talking about beating up my cousin and beating up my aunt because they won't bring my grandmother's body back. I didn't do it. I said, it makes me sad, but I have to accept and respect your decision. If I can't come there now, maybe I come later, maybe I can see her. If you have pity on me and compassion, to let me see a pic. After she's cleaned up, I have to be okay with the pic. Breaks my heart, but I think that if things were different, my grandmother wouldn't have even had to be rescued by her daughter. I didn't know she was being abused. These were family members, and they let strangers do it. The strangers were more important to her, and they would rob her. Every month she got her checking stamps, they were robbing her. And if she ran out of water, they put her out. I mean, to say she was using the bathroom in the corner, and you're her niece, and you're with her day and night, and she loves your daughter so much, she also wanted to talk to my niece and her baby before she physically died, because she was in love with the baby. And she told my aunt and my cousin that she let my niece abuse her because she was in love with the baby. She wants to see the baby. And so they let her FaceTime my niece and the baby. And I said, y'all let her FaceTime the criminal. She abused and beat her and stole her money. And they said, what? I said, oh, she didn't tell you that. She's telling everything else. And lying on me, said, I attacked my grandmother, put her out in the cold, and had my grandmother sitting outside on an air conditioning unit at night in the winter. Isn't it heartbreaking? Because I didn't know all of it until my cousin told me, because other family members that live in Atlanta that wouldn't take care of her, you know, like the ones that were also in the car that drove my niece over to jump me, they didn't take care of her either. But they're calling up their gospel and trying to say that I did it, and I put my grandma outside on a fucking air conditioning unit in February of 2019. It's cold as fuck. I never put my grandmother outside. I said, even when I told my grandmother I couldn't look at her, I was so hurt by her. I walked the other way out of my kitchen. I went upstairs. I didn't want to look at my grandmother. And I said, you can spend the night here. I wouldn't do that. It was so cold. Even though I was treated that way, I'm not cruel. Not to her, because like I said, I don't like my grandmother, but I love my grandmother. Oh, something just popped in here. I don't know if you heard it. Because of the way she took care of me. I still got a picture of me and her together when I had a pamper. I was about 2-year-olds and had my hair in ponytails. So I loved her. I didn't like her ways. I wasn't going to do that. You heard that shit? So I wasn't going to dare do that to my grandma. She was old and feeble like that, and her body, she looked real frail. I wasn't going to do it to my grandma. No, because I wasn't invited out to the funeral. I'm not going to do that. I have never been invited out there. They don't even call me, didn't have my phone number. I had to find their number. And I wasn't contacted to see my grandma, to have the option to keep her here, fight for her, take care of her, or tell her goodbye. And they were saying, my grandmother said, I know where I am and I don't want to go. I want to stay here in Atlanta. I want to die in Atlanta. I want to be with my mom. I don't want to go. But because my grandmother was in such bad shape, using the bathroom on herself, her body was raw, her bottom was raw. She was incoherent. She couldn't even walk. She was so weak. She was so thin. She was being eaten up in the inside out. I didn't know. I didn't know where she was. Yeah, I understood. I understood. And her own niece and nephew and other nieces and stuff that were older that knew, they let her be over there like that. So I understand why her daughter took her. My mother couldn't take care of her because my mother has health issues. And she was also very cruel to my mom, grandma, and said she was doing black magic on her. She wanted my grandma dead because they were molested. She always said she wanted my grandmother dead, and she put curses on my grandmother. But she said she did it all. She wanted all of us dead, and so my grandmother wasn't going to stay with her. Um, I understood why they took her. I was just hoping they would ship her back because I knew that she wanted to be with her mom. Hey, baby. Hi, Sarah, mother. But I know now that's not going to happen. And like Nips was saying to me, he was like, "Put your chin up. Do not do that." And I was like, "Nips, you know I'm not going to curse out my aunt and curse out my cousin." And so I just talked to my cousin and I sent her the pie. I said, "Do you see that?" She said, "I see that." She's like, "Grandma wanted that pie." I said, "Yeah." And so I said, "I want you to see it." I said, "Here's both of the pies." I said, "You see one that has a full whipped cream on it?" Matter of fact, let me get it right now. It's behind me. You see this plate? Look at that. Do you see how full that whipped cream is? It's still full. The other pie is what I showed you. They're made at the same time. I baked them and decorated them at the same time. But you see that had still whipped cream, and the other started bubbling and like gurgling like it was oozing up out of the ground, oozing up out of the pie. It's gone. The whipped cream is gone. I had to wipe it off because it kept sliding off and it turned to liquid. It looked like liquid milk. Doesn't that look delicious? The other one doesn't look like that. I had to wipe it because it kept bubbling. And I knew it wasn't hot because they both came out at the same time. Yeah, she did. So I made the altar for her and Nipsey and my father. And she wants it. You see, even psychics suffer more. Yeah, they do. We do. And so I did it for her. I did everything. I have the collard greens. I think, yeah, I took pictures and put them up the thing. I have, well, yeah, this is Nipsey's. And I put the pictures. I'm sitting. Ooh, this plate is heavy. Let me not break this. You see that? See, they're all intact. My grandma's plate. This I made barbecue, boneless chicken breasts, and collard greens, tomatoes, cornbread. And I have the other plate for my father with the collard greens and cornbread. I cooked so much stuff. And I had my grandma, she wanted the plate. So her plate's right there. I didn't know this was going to happen. I was surprised she asked me because I didn't know she'd be around. And I did it for her. He's gratitude, can you forgive me? Oh, girl. Isn't he messy? I just like, you know how talkative he is? But yet when I asked him that, he does like this. And he just looks down at me. I said, "No, oh, you hear that shit? Nobody's here with me. Somebody just popped and cracked again." And I said, "No, no, no, that's not what you're saying. You keep talking about her." He said, "I already went to see her." I said, "You know where she is? She's in Texas?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Help me find her. Help me." I told him Thursday, "Help me find her, Nipsey." And then I got up Friday and I found her. And I said, "This is her last day here." I just felt somebody stand on me. I said, "Nipsey, help me. She's leaving today." He said, "Okay." And you notice when I said about Nipsey, it popped. And then a few minutes ago, I said about my grandma, it popped. And now the heat's going off so you can hear it, whatever else happened. Yeah, he knew. He said, "See that? Nobody's here but me." Um, yes, she's making herself known, and that's so surprising to me because she said she wanted to leave. She wasn't coming back. She was going to be with Jesus. And now she's doing, she sees everything. And when she came out, oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry if I blocked it. You can see them. That's right. That's Nipsey. I guess she said, "You see how those candles are looking and doing?" And when she got out Friday, she came here and I saw her, and she had her fist balled up, and she was like, I was like, "Well, Grandma, Mom, why are you mad at me? What I do?" I said, "Oh, you're mad because of something else." She was out of the body and she was breathing up. She was mad. She looked like a big, healthy self. And I said, "Yeah, you don't like what?" So you were looking and acting calm in the pictures, but you're pissed. You're mad, huh? She said, "Because of what they did to her. They abused her. And they robbed her. She's sitting there big like that and then draw it all up. You'd be mad too. But I said, well, you're mad at me because you know I didn't do it. I said, you're mad at me? You think I did it? I'll wait because you know I didn't touch you. I didn't touch your money or none of that. You think I do that? You're mad at me, Mom? I'll wait because you might be disoriented right now because I know you're doing a lot of drugs. So she stands there and she didn't. You're right, JM. She told him she didn't want to go. Even though her mind was off and on, she told him she didn't want to. But I understand the situation because they said she was by herself in this rooming house and this lady had her up in the room. And she asked the lady, why didn't you get my mother, why didn't you call an ambulance for my mother? Why didn't you get medical attention? And said the lady gonna tell her, just because she paid me money to stay here don't mean I have to make sure she eat or get medical treatment. I'm not obligated to call an ambulance for her. And I was like, wow, there's so many cruel people in Atlanta doing that to old people, to the elderly. Are you serious what you said? Yes, she just almost blew your candle out behind you when you said she was breathing hard. She was mad as a motherfucker. She got up out of her body and she looked wet and naked. And she came here. And I said, that's amazing because you physically died in Texas and your ass is in Atlanta, which tells me this is where you want to be. My grandmother was 5'10", almost 6 feet tall. She's almost 6 feet tall, wore a size 10 shoe and big old hands. She was a big girl and weighed. She never went under 250 because she looked better big because she's so big. So yeah, that looked really funny on her being that thin. You could tell she wasn't healthy thin because everything was long. Her skin was long. Everything on her body was long and hanging. And I knew, I said, Mama, I remember when I saw her before she came here, she was at one of my son's friend's house around the corner. I said, what are you doing out here? Somebody told me she was, my niece walked around here with the dog and told me she was around there. And I said, let me drive around there. And I looked at, I said, call Grandma to the door. She walked to the door. She looked thin. Everything was just her face. Everything was long. And I said, Mama, what is wrong? She said, oh, she said, do I look bad? I said, no, Mama, you just look like you lost a little weight. Like, why you look like that? She said, it's just my ulcer. I said, you hungry, Mama? She said, I sure am. I said, what you want, Mama? She said, I would love a double cheeseburger from Wendy's with the onion and ketchup and mustard and pickles and some french fries. I said, you know what, you want to, I don't like to give you that. But you lost so much weight at this point, and I knew my grandmother was dying. But I wasn't going to tell her that. She said, do I look bad to you? I said, no, Mom. You just look hungry. You're too little. You never let yourself get that little. What do you want, Mom? She said, I said, do you want me to go get you some steak? You want some veggies? What do you want, some chicken? She said, no, I want a hamburger. I want a big hamburger, double hamburger. I said, do you want bacon on it? Yes, I want bacon and lettuce and cheese and mustard and onions and pig. I said, okay. You want the works? You want me to just get you a meal? And she said, yeah. So what drink you want? And I said, come, told my niece, come go to the Wendy's with me so you can get out and get it for her. And I can just go home. I said, Mom, I'm around the corner. And I got it for her, and she smiled. And I said, make sure she eats this. Y'all don't eat her food. Don't take her food. She said, I'm going to make sure Grandma eats. And I said, why is she looking like that? And my niece claimed she didn't know. And then she gradually started saying little stuff. And I knew they were taking her money because I knew when she was 5 years old in 2001, when her mother went to prison, they were doing it. She had 3 children, 2 boys and a girl she left on my grandmother. My grandmother wanted to keep them together. She didn't want the little girl raped. She didn't want to give them to anybody. She didn't even want to give the little girl to me. She didn't want them separated, and they were doing that. Okay, well, that's fine, ugly. I'm not focusing on anybody else's reading tonight. I have the right to express myself. I'm talking about my own reading to people that want to hear it. You don't want to hear it, don't be here. I'm tired of people always asking me to do stuff for them as if I'm not human and I don't have feelings and you're not paying me. No, if you don't want to be here, don't be here. But you're not going to tell me, do this person, do that person. That person was shot. That person's dead. My grandmother's dead. And really, I had to exercise patience this week when people wanted to argue with me about their goddamn products. some gold cream. I don't give a fuck about no gold cream right now. Where's my cream? Where's my package? I don't know where the fuck your... Look, I had to really bite my tongue because I'm like, you people, you know I have to make everything from scratch. You know it takes a while to make it, but you still order. Stop fucking ordering it if you can't wait, because I don't have it sit on the shelf. I make all this stuff from scratch. I'm a custom blender. And you don't ask me how I'm doing, how my day is. So I know you don't really give a fuck anyway, even if you ask. I've been dealing with this for over 2 weeks now. My grandmother is dying from cancer, eating her whole fucking body up, just jumping around. But did I say anything to you guys? No, I didn't. I got on the video last time. Did I say anything? No. And Nipsey was already telling me what was going on. Yeah, block them so they can't come back in here. And I know who's doing it. Don't ever ask me to do a reading for you. Don't ever ask me to read a celebrity that was murdered. This is my show. This is my channel. You don't like it, don't come over here. You don't want to donate because I'm talking about my life and my feelings and somebody that I know was abused and basically murdered, set up for murder. When they were found, she was basically halfway dead. So please block everybody. I don't ever want you over here again. Don't ever speak to me a fucking again. So even people that were arguing me about their stuff. Where's the stuff? And it was one lady. I was like, I asked her to send her address more than one time because I have so many emails. When I think I filled the order, I erased it because if I'll fill it more than one time, nobody checks my emails. Nobody fills orders with me. She's like, I sent it to you 3 times. And I'm like, yeah, you did. And I'm sorry I didn't keep up with it. Oh, I wasn't stressing. And I'm just thinking to myself, this lady is arguing with me because I asked her to send the email and I have hundreds of orders I had to fill. I could only fill like 30 at a time, 50 at a time, another 50 at a time. And you're wanting to argue with me because I asked you to send it one more time. Well, that would be a 4th time if I sent it. Did you ask it for 3rd time? You know, and I didn't get it. And I accidentally sent her one of her items and I didn't remember that I owed her 3 more items in the gold cream because of what I'm dealing with my own life and trying to work and not sleeping, not eating a lot of time, trying to fill orders, trying to do public reading, trying to read celebrities, all this stuff. And now my grandmother is dying from cancer that is metastasizing all over her fucking body. And somebody, I didn't say anything about it. I'm just thinking to myself, I don't quite know where my grandmother is right now. And my grandmother is rotting from the inside out, and somebody's arguing with me with a goddamn gold cream in an incomplete order. So I didn't tell them what was going on in my world. But what I did do, because I wasn't going to, because I'm trying to keep my cool, because I'm about to snap. Because you don't know, nor do you care that I'm a human being and that somebody I love that raised me from diapers that I was shitting on myself is fucking rotting to death. But you're arguing me about a gold cream. And so what I said was, either you send me the address, you send me the email with your address because I don't have it. I know I asked you to send it to me 3 times. I don't have it. There's a lot of people I asked to send it to me 3 times because my mind is all over the place and I'm not sleeping. I'm trying to do everything by myself because I don't want nobody touching y'all's stuff. I've had people to volunteer to come over here and make your stuff for me, and I just tell you the ingredients and I won't do it. Thank you, Rochelle from South Africa. And this lady is going off because I asked you to send it. And I said, yeah, I know it's a lot of times, but I got a lot going on. If you send it to me one more time, if you don't send it to me, I don't know your address. I can't fill your order. And the best thing I should do at this time, because I'm not going to argue with you, I just can't keep up. I have a lot of stuff going on in my own life, and I'm trying to do this the best I can. I just sent out 50 orders like a week ago, and I'm still not finished, and I still haven't found everybody's order that I owe. So if anybody ordered, I know people ordered, I have my own, I owe, because I still got some of the stuff sitting here. I owe from the Sex and Money or the Sex and Money Bass. If you're listening to this, please contact me so I can send it because I can't find your address. My mind has just been all over the place trying to keep up with everything and what's happened to my grandma. Okay. I told her, I'll give your money back. I'll gladly give your money back. And we just won't talk anymore because I can't do this right now. Either give it to me again because I don't have it. I see your email and I clearly filled the wrong order. She's like, that order's already filled. And okay, I didn't know. I thought it was the recent order I owe you. She's like, no, that's you already filled that one. It's the other one. And I said, I can't find it. I'm sorry, I can't find it. So I'll just give your money back. And I didn't tell her. This was like, and then yesterday I got my friend to come over here. My gay godchild came and he said, oh my God, Alexis, I'm so sorry. I know you. He said, let me come get it now before I leave town for Christmas. And he came and got her box. And he took a picture of it in the post office and I sent her a picture. I said, what I didn't send you last week, here you go. And here's your tracking. I still didn't say nothing about what I'm dealing with right now. I didn't say anything to anybody until today. Today's the first day I said something. And I learned how people really don't give a fuck about you, just like I saw what happened to her, which reminds me of what happened to Nipsey. He loved Black people. He loved his community. He loved Crenshaw. He wanted to build affordable housing for people that didn't have it or just didn't want to work or didn't care. He didn't care. He wanted to love his people, and he loved them for his downfall and loved them to death. The main people that he knew, that he loved, that he had no defenses, that he wanted to get close to with no gun and no security, murdered him. And that's the same thing that happened to my grandmother. And now they're threatening her other daughter and my cousin in Texas. I didn't tell anybody until now. And I saw how people basically email me and only want to talk to me. Oh, this person. And I'm getting it during this week. Oh, this person was murdered. Here's an email. This person was shot. Oh, do a reading on this person. Do a reading on that person. Oh, why was this person shot? Oh, why was that person shot? Oh, what Nipsey say about this? Like some bitch gonna come in the motherfucking chat tonight, the live tonight. Oh, why did Nipsey and Selena down the same day? I don't know. Ask Nipsey and Selena, goddammit. Send me some stupid shit like that. That's already been addressed and fucking went over. I don't know. And don't speak to me no motherfucking mo. Bitch. Because it's clear you don't give a fuck about me. And you're asking me for free. Give a fuck about you. Anybody that feels that way, get the fuck out of here. So what I had to say about it. I wanted people to know. The people that love me and support me, thank you for donating and loving and supporting me. Thank you for blocking the bitch. I'm not your dog. I'm not something that has an ability to tap in for you. You want to know so bad, you read it. Or you go to a reader that you can fuck over and you don't have consideration for them as a human being. Fuck you. You go to them. Don't ever speak to me again. That's why I'm taking a break right now. I'm not going to sit over here and do all this stuff, because as soon as something happens to me, people treat me as if I don't have feelings. They treat psychics and mediums like dogs anyway, like you don't have feelings. I want to know what I want to know. Who's digging in this person's ass? Who's taking this person's money? Who's sucking their dick? Who shot them? That's all you care about. It's what the fuck you want to know. And that person has an ability to see, but you don't. And then people that you already heard do the readings, instead of sticking with them, you'll hop, reader hop, psychic hop. Oh, what'd she say? Oh, what'd she say? Oh, what'd she say? Stay the fuck over there. Because now I'm going to take time out for me when I need to take, especially if you're not donating to me. It's usually the dick-sucking motherfuckers that don't give you 10 cents and don't donate nothing. But they always want to ask you, oh, who did this? And who shot this person? What do you think about it? I don't know, bitch. What do you think about it? I don't think a motherfucking thing about it, ho. What you think about it, bitch? Because I'm not telling you. No, even when I take time, you're still not, nobody's going to fuck over me like that. Because I see how people are. Most people don't really give a fuck about you. And you usually find out when you get sick and when you get homeless and you don't know where to stay. Then them same people that you thought love you will sit there and fuck you and steal your shit. And you're only reduced to $1. And if you don't have it, they'll abuse you and then pass you around. That's not happening to me. That's why I don't let people get close to me no more, because that was done to me when I was poisoned. And I see how people really act like they love you and they fucking don't. So don't bring your stinking ass over here asking me who shot John and who dug in their ass and got stabbed after they pulled their drawers out their motherfucking ass, bitch. I don't know. And if I do know, I'm not telling you. Because this was a test. I want to see how people respond by saying the shit that I motherfucking feel and expressing what the fuck I have been going through for the past few motherfucking weeks and couldn't find my grandma. And then finally saw that motherfucking shit. I want to see how people respond because I know most people don't care. They don't give a fuck. They don't care about what you want to know or whose business you want to dive in. For nothing. That's all you care about. So now I don't care. I'm only caring about people who got my back and who look out for me. That's it. Because most of these motherfuckers over here ain't shit, and I know that. So I'm going to treat you like you treat me. The ones that look out for me, I'm going to look out for you. The ones that donate to me, you ask me a question, I'm going to answer. The ones that don't, I won't. Go somewhere else. Go play with someone else. I'm not the one. And I really accepted that. I'm not going to be a good Samaritan to people without boundaries unless you're good to me. The past few days I've had to fucking medicate to stay calm. Because that shit really fucking hurt me. Hey, Mr. 24/7 star. Hey, baby. And I'm not going to see my grandma for her funeral. I can't just up and flop there. I have stuff to take care of here. So that, but I'm still not mad at them. I understand they did what they had to do at the time. My grandmother was dying. They had to take her. I'm just disappointed because I won't be able to see her and tell her goodbye. But I understand. And then my grandmother came here last night and started talking. No, JM, they don't have to show respect because they won't be in here for not showing respect to me. Because I think that I want you to show me how you really feel. I don't want people to pretend you love me and you don't. Thank you, Mr. 24/7 star. Yes, she physically died Friday, and I found her Friday to tell her goodbye because I knew she was dying Friday. And I had to find her, and I did. She's in Texas. Unfortunately, people abused her and didn't take her over here. So her other daughter had to come get her. Thank you for the donation, Deborah. Thank you for people to love me and support me. Yeah. Like I said, I'm going to create another chakra meditation around sex and money for this. Thank you, Tyrese, for the donation. Thank you, everybody. I love you for loving me and supporting me. Because I don't come to y'all with a lot of my problems, but even if I do tell you what's going on, I share the experience and how I'm learning from it and I'm growing from it to be a better person because Nipsey said that's what he wanted me to do and that's how he wanted me to see my grandma. I don't come to you as a victim. Even if something happened to me, I ask you, can you help me? You can either donate or you can't. You can either support me or love me if you can't. Or you can't. I understand that. Everybody's going through stuff, with the economy and COVID and all that stuff. But I know people that do love me and support me, if they got it, they give to me when they can. And I appreciate that. But I never try to come to you as a victim. And it's a lot of things I go through I don't discuss. But this, I know I'm not the only one. And I've had people come to me and attack me. Hey, my aunt just died. My grandma just died. My mom just died. I want a reading like right now. And you were so insensitive. My grandma just died. She's been dying for 2 years now. I saw my brother die when I was 15. But am I up here striking out at you? And I didn't even strike out at my clients that were going off on me about some fucking cream. They don't even know unless they see this video right now. So please don't ever fucking tell me. Weak bitch. I can call you weak because I have gone through what you've gone through. And I know how you feel. So when you say, Alexis, you're such a dirty bitch, you're such a crazy bitch, you're an old bitch, whatever fucking name you want to call me, just call me Drip and call me boss. Boss bitch. Even if you call me a hag, call me a bad hag. Okay? Because you don't know me. And I just had the same loss that you call me and you whine and you cry about and you want me to jump whenever you send me a fucking email because you just had a death in your family and you want me to jump whenever a celebrity dies that you don't fucking know and you say, I don't understand and I'm heartless and I'm cold and I don't know and I hurt your feelings. What about me? Did I email any of you? Did I call any of you? Fuck you, bitch. Fuck all you bitches that said it because I do know the pain. Am I up here acting like a victim? Did I shed a tear in front of you? Did I whine to you and ask you to give me something? I don't have to make this up when I get the bitch where I'll show it to you. You think I've never said anything like this to you before? But you say I'm cold and I'm insensitive because I'm a dirty bitch and I'm insensitive and I haven't dealt with my mom issues and I just wasn't compassionate and I hurt your feelings. Mine are mine hurt right now? But am I begging you to understand me? Am I calling any of you to listen to me? Am I whining tonight? Did I call any of you for a reading? Saying I can't cope. I need to talk to you right now. And then I didn't even see my grandmother tell her goodbye and she's not coming back here physically. But I don't know. And I'm an insensitive bitch. Don't you bitches ever contact me again. Because a bitch like you, I don't want for a client. Okay? You can't tell me what I don't know. You can't tell me what I don't feel. You can't tell me it's an emergency because it happened to me and it felt like an emergency. But all I know is I had to find my grandma. And so I asked Nipsey and I asked my ancestors, help me find my grandmother today, Friday. Yes, just call me Boss Drip, okay? Boss Bitch Drip. Thank you, because I know y'all and Sarah Ma, y'all gonna come up with some fly shit for me. Yeah, just call me Boss. Because I'm not responding the way you do. And my grandmother's one of the reasons for that, because I remember when I was little and I would fall and I wouldn't just skin my knee. When I would fall in the project, because I love to run and jump, I would slide down that cement concrete where it would tear all of the skin off my knee. And she would watch it and she said, you better not cry. Get up. Walk over here. And she would clean it off and wash it off and I feel the stinging of it. And I trusted her and I wanted her approval. I didn't cry. And when I had my tonsils, well, it's not just about the universe taking care of me. That's not how I feel. Okay? I'm responsible for my feelings. I'm responsible for how I respond. And I can't control people living or dying because my grandmother wanted to go. And she lived her life the way she wanted to live her life. The only thing I'm responsible for is the way I feel and what I learn from it and what I don't learn and how I respond to it. And doesn't make me stronger and better. It doesn't make me feel like a victim. It doesn't make me bitter and I go around attacking everybody. And that's not me. That's not me. That's one of the reasons why I share it. Don't ever email me, bitch. Any bitch like that, a young, dumb, immature minded bitch. It doesn't mean that you're chronologically young, but you're mentally, emotionally, psychologically young and fucking immature and dumb. Don't ever get out. If you do, we all know from what I just told you, you're a fucking liar. Don't ever say that I don't know how it feels and I'm cold and I'm insensitive because I have to deal with the same fucking thing that you have to deal, and I have loss and heartache and pain too. My grandmother physically left her body Friday. It's Sunday. We're going into Monday. And I'm talking to you. And I'm not up here whimpering like a punk bitch. I didn't say I didn't cry. But I'm not up here as a victim talking to you. I'm standing in vagina power talking to you. And that's the way my grandmother would have liked it. She never liked whiners. She never liked whimperers. If my grandmother cried on a regular basis, she must have done it when nobody could see it. Because I remember when I was a little girl and I had my tonsils taken out and she couldn't be with me, so my mother was at the hospital with me. And I didn't cry until she put my grandmother on the phone. And she says, here, you want to talk to mom? I said, I want to talk to my grandma. Because I thought that was my mom. And I could barely talk because they had taken my tonsils out. So I could whisper. And when I heard her voice, I said, Mom, Mama, Mama, I love you, Mama. Because she said, stop crying. And I was like, instant. She said, don't cry. I don't want to hear you cry. So how are you doing? I'm fine, Mama. I miss you. I want to come home, Mama. Okay. Talk to me, but don't cry to me. And don't whine to me. My grandmother always treated me that way. I saw my grandmother have her knee replaced, like in her 60s or 70s. And they replaced the whole fucking knee. She had this big metal implant on her knee. And the day after her surgery, we heard these heels. It was this white lady from London. And she had this wonderful, beautiful British accent. And she told my grandmother, you must get out of bed. And I said, are you serious? Like the next day out of a radical surgery? She said, you have to get up because we have to make sure the ligaments don't get stiff and shrink. My grandmother, I had to watch this. And my grandmother was very overweight and that also put pressure on the knee. So she also is dealing with a knee transplant. They transplanted the knee and it was like metal, cement. It was like probably more barbaric when she got hers done over 25 years ago. My grandmother gets up within 24 hours of having a knee replaced. And she's gritting her teeth. She's walking down a long hallway with the knee replaced. And it had just been replaced, not even a complete 24 hours before. Never cried. Never complained. And that's why I said, when I was talking about the lady that was calling me names and she thought that hurt my feelings, bitch, that doesn't hurt my feelings. You really don't know my life and how cruel and cold my life and how many cruel summers and cruel winters where I slept in my car at 20 degrees, bitch. You don't know me too well. It's just like the song, I don't look like what I've been through and I make sure I never will. You don't, your insults and shit don't hurt me because you don't know what I've been through. And I had a grandmother, no matter how bad it was, you better stand up straight and you better shut your mouth. Especially if you're finna whimper and whine and a tear's gonna come out of your eye. I better not see it. Yes, Mama. Did you frown your face? Hold your head. Okay. Better not. Okay, Mama. Now, let's go. Do what I told. That's how she was. So I had a lot of cruel, cold shit happen to me. But I made up my mind, I don't want to be a mean person. I don't want to be an evil person. Now, I'm not going to let people come near me no more. I set up boundaries, but I don't want you to look at me and see that's a hard, rugged, cold, evil, old bitch. I don't want to look like an old, cold-faced, stone-faced bitch. And that's why when you look at me, you don't see that. Because I make it a point not to be harsh and angry and bitter. But learn. I have to learn. My grandmother's forcing me to learn. Life is forcing me to learn from this. because this is one of the most cruelest blows. There's nobody else living that would really hurt me like this. I have no one. Other than my child, I have no one. And that's okay. So people that are weak, women that are weak, don't email me. I don't want you around me. Because see, a weak bitch will get you killed. A weak bitch, you say something to her one day that hurts her feelings. Because you didn't say it like a baby, and she'll go to your enemy and get your ass set up and shot. Get you set up and caught outside and shot. I don't want a weak bitch with weak feelings. That you want somebody to pet you and kiss you like you're 6 months old. That's why I said I want a vagina power crew. I want a bitch. Just like I say something to you, like you look at Hitler. His army barked orders back. He barked, they barked back. They didn't easily flinch, even the gay ones, the pink shirts. They were strong, determined, very strategic killers for the one they were loyal to. They don't have time to whine, and if they do, they get themselves back together. You cry in private. I don't really give a fuck. I've cried in private. And then in the front, you never let people see you sweat. All that whining and shit from a grown bitch. I don't have time for it because too much bad shit has happened to me that I have to address and stand in vagina power and learn to do that. That's all I can take from this. I'm not going to sit here. In the beginning, I said how my grandmother was. I didn't like her as a person, but I loved her as my grandmother. I told her that. I talked to my cousin. I told her that. She said, I know about that because the rapes go through the family. I said, yeah. I said, so you don't think I'm nice? She said, I believe you. I believe you. That's right. You cry to yourself and then you get it out because it's cleansing. It's healing. But if you cry and you whine all the time and you don't learn and become stronger, then that means you have not dealt with the heartbroken little girl. You haven't healed her. She needs more help, or you need therapy or whatever. Meds, something to get you through it. Maybe you're not like the rest of us, and that's okay. You need to learn how to get tough. I don't have time to pet no babies. Because I have to pet myself. I have to heal myself. I have a son that's going through a lot of shit, and I don't like it and I don't agree with it. I'm going to be there for my child. He just knows, though, it's kind of ran out, though. I'm kind of, maybe this is getting old. Now, you go through something else, you're going to go through that by yourself. You're going to do that by yourself because mama ain't riding with you on that shit no more because you ain't never seen your mama do that. I have my own mother snorting cocaine and popping pills with my son as recent as 2015, okay? That's one reason why he got in trouble with the law, because my mother was getting him high and driving around and snorting cocaine, and then I found out she did it with his father. These are things I have to deal with. I've never snorted cocaine. I've never popped pills. I've never been a drug addict. I've never been a drunk. So oh, really, Amira? Okay, well, you know what? I was sitting right beside my mother and my half-sister. My mother was snorting cocaine with my sister and trying to pass it to me. You want some? I said, no, thank you. And I sat there and watched them do it. I felt somebody looking at us. I turned, it was my son. I said, I wanted him to see his grandmother that he thought was so special. Try to give his mother coke and turn me into a drug addict so I can run the street with her and probably sell me and prostitute me to get fucked, to get drugs for her. She's sitting there snorting with her youngest daughter and trying to get snorted with me. My son was about 9. Oh yeah, I have some stories for you. I have some nasty bedtime stories for you. But am I whimpering? Am I crying? Because I know it is what it is. That's not my mother. It's never going to be, at least a mother I want her, I need. And so I don't fuck with her. It is what it is. And my son wouldn't tell me, and then he was getting drunk with my aunt, and she was doing drugs with him too, because he said, she's a cool aunt, and they do stuff you won't let me do, and you're boring, and I don't really like you. I want to live with you because you won't let me do this stuff, and I get to do what I want, and it's cool to be this young, to drink a beer, to drink liquor, to smoke weed, and you wouldn't let me do it. So I didn't tell you. Who told me? My grandmother. My grandmother said, stop letting your son go over to your sister's house. I know you want your niece and nephews to get along since you and your sister don't like each other. Your mother drove a wedge between you two. And my sister blamed me because I didn't get as many whippings as she did, but I knew how to stay out of my mother's way. And I didn't do the things she did. So she really didn't like me. We still don't speak. That's her choice. My niece, that's my half-sister's child. They're the same mother, different fathers. I've accepted that too. My grandma, I've had to learn to accept all this. Thank you, Kennedy. Kimberly, I'm sorry. Thank you, Kimberly. Beautiful name. Thank you for the donation. I've been processing all that and I've accepted it. And I realized that if I or anybody continues to try to go around people like that, like my grandmother did, you'll be killed. And when something happens to you, you'll be used and abused. Elder abuse or abuse as a young person because you won't be able to take care of yourself and they'll steal everything from you. So I'm good. I'm glad I finally got over the pain of not being loved or feeling loved and wanting a family. I'm good. Because I found a lot of you that don't know me, they treat me better than my own blood family or extended family. Because some of these people, like I said, my cousin, they're not blood related, but they're related through my grandmother. And clearly don't think too much of me to want to get me beat up and wanted my niece to bust me in my face, because that's what my niece kept saying. She was going to hit me in my face and she was going to beat me. And I'm thinking, wow, she's 20 something, I'm in my 50s, and you want to do that to your auntie? I really couldn't understand why she wanted to do it to your auntie, because I never hit my niece. I looked at her like a daughter. But it's clear you don't think much of me, so now I don't think anything of you. But the same thing you think of me. I can forgive you and never let you get close to me and never trust you and still file charges. Especially now I know what you did to my grandmother. I know you did it. I saw you do it for years. I'm going to take one more thing and I'm going to go. When I was poisoned, like 2012, so I was still making orders. So like 2013, 2014, my grandma was in good condition. She always liked to work. She liked to be, she got really early in the morning. She liked to move around. She liked to drive. She was a very active woman. And she was always doing something to help somebody. And it's ironic that nobody came to save her and help her, other than help themselves to her bank card, to her food stamps. They probably beat her up because my grandmother was so skinny and frail and full of cancer. Cancer also comes from a lot of heartache and pain. And when I saw my grandmother's face in the hospital, and that got me, because I knew that my grandmother didn't die Friday. Not just because of all the big tumors all over her organs, her lungs, so she couldn't talk, and she had trach and oxygen, and she couldn't breathe well. I knew my grandmother's lungs, her liver, it probably went down into her female organs. When you get poison like that and around the breast and stuff, that is heartbreak and heartache from relatives and children breaking your heart. Cancer usually starts, especially female organs, in the breast, which people get nourishment and fed. Those are mammary glands from the breast, from being heartbroken by people that you love, that you give to, and they break your heart. And when I saw her face, I knew she was heartbroken. And I said, they're not going to do that to me anymore. And I'm not dealing with my family because they did it to her, they'll do it to me. When you're weak and vulnerable and you got money and something to steal or rape you, beat you up. Because my niece, my cousin said, when they were giving my grandmother a bath, she screamed, she would moan whenever they moved her back because the organs were so painful inside. And she was holding her body, like she didn't want to touch her body. And she was like shielding herself. And I said, I wondered if somebody raped my grandmother and beat my grandmother. Because she had natural teeth. She was 88 and she still had teeth in the front. And she just had like a partial to move around them. And you couldn't tell. It looked natural. Her real teeth were gone. And they don't know what happened to her teeth. But my niece loved her so much. So what happened to them? Why did you let that happen? Why your grandmother's natural real teeth were knocked out of her mouth, and her partial, and her clothes, and her shoes, and her furniture, everything of hers is gone, her coats, her house, everything's gone, but you love her, you was with her every day. What happened? And I can see in her face, I know what happened. We've already read it. We know you did it. And we know your boyfriend and everybody associated with you robbed and elder abused my grandma. And you'll pay for it. I don't have to see you, but I know you'll pay for it. You, your mother, everybody's involved. You'll pay for it. But you can't say I did it, because I didn't. I'll work and stay up all day and all night. If I steal from an old person, I steal from my grandma. I never steal from an elderly person and hit an elderly person. I'll stay away from you if I don't like you, but to do that to an elderly person because they have money and fuck them and trick them, that's not me. And I can see it all over my grandmother's face, and I knew she wanted to talk to me. So those are my lessons, because it happened in my life. It happened to me. It's my problem. It's my issue. That's why I didn't say anything. And when clients want to argue with me and be confronted and combative and shit, I didn't say anything until now. And the ones that did and disrespect me, don't call me back for another order. Because a lot of times I'll take shit and I'll let somebody say something to me just to see where you're coming from, how far you're going to go with this shit. And if you disrespect me, you won't ever be able to deal with me again. Because you think I'm weak because I'm a nice person. And I'm not weak. I'm not stupid. But what I am going to do is heal around this because it's my responsibility to. I'm going to create because I want to learn, I want to heal, I want to grow, and I want other people that have gone through this thing, because this is a regular thing. Everybody in your life will die, and you will die. Whether you start to die because of your mind and Alzheimer's or something shutting down, cancer of the brain and cancer of the body, or because instantly something happens to you externally, you're stabbed, you're shot, you're hit, you will go like the rest of the people we've seen go. That's life. But it's how you handle it. And it's whatever you were born to become will come out, or you will become less than what you were born to become. So I'm going to create a whole program around this, even though it breaks my heart. And there's nothing I can do about it but learn and grow. I cannot bring her back into that body because she kept saying she wanted to go, and she kept wanting to be a martyr, and she let them do that, and I couldn't stop it. And I thought if I gave her an ultimatum that she would let them go and she would stay here and she would change, and she did. It was her life, it was her choice, it was her decision. And we have to learn not to be so attached to people that we cannot let them go. Even if we know they're going down the wrong path, it's their choice and it's their life, and they don't belong to us. And we have to deal with the attachment and the love. I don't like the way this ended. There's nothing I can do about it. Now, I didn't know she was gone because nobody called me and gave me the choice to see her and to keep her. I just found out. She was already gone 2 weeks ago. I just found out a few days ago when I was thinking about her that she wasn't here, because she kept coming to me and she wanted to talk to me and she wanted to come back, and I knew she did after I called, and that's what they said. She never wanted to go. And I knew she wanted me to get her because she didn't want to leave me. When we got into it, she didn't want to leave. But it was still her choice. And I have to learn to deal with it. It's just hard because I know how now, the 2 years we didn't speak, now I know how bad she was abused. And I saw her in the hospital bed when she took her last breath, and I saw how she looked. That's not my grandma. And she had beautiful hair and beautiful skin. And she was like 10 times darker, and her hair was missing, and her teeth was missing. And she was just bone. I didn't know. And to have my cousin tell me what she knew, and people calling down here that should have took care of her. Her own relatives, they saw and they helped make that happen. I know she wanted to speak to me. That's why I said, I said, Nipsey, help me. And I got up Friday morning because he kept telling me, and he said, get all your toys and stuff with your grandma. He said, get everything that she taught you and keep up. Take the high road with this. Don't attack nobody. I said, why you keep talking about her? And I did this. And I said, no, 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 no. And he kept looking. I said, no, no, that's not what you're saying.
And he didn't say nothing. And he went back over to my grandma. And he said, she is in Texas and she is dying. And then I said, help me find her. And I got up Friday and he helped me find her. And then my cousin said, she is just with me. She just died. I can't put her on the phone because you called too late. She died 2 hours ago. And I just, okay. And we just talked. I said, let me see her. And she let me see her. And that kind of helped because I knew that he had been saying it. He kept saying it. And he said it, but he wouldn't say it because he wouldn't say it out of his mouth. But the way he was looking, and I said, that's where you've been. You've been with my grandma. And it's like, it's true. And I'm just like, how could he know? Like he said, you have to get ready. You have to get ready because it's happening. He's like, it's been happening. And what he said to me was correct. And I said, I appreciate you because I helped you. November 13th. Oh, I know how you feel. I'm sorry you lost your mama or your grandma, because I lost my grandma Friday. And I guess I'm sure she remembered my birthday, November 27th, but she didn't say nothing to me. Yeah, I lost my Friday. And I said, well, she waited till after my birthday. But it's just like with young Dolph, he physically died before Christmas, and now my grandma physically dies. He physically died, well, before Thanksgiving. That's also missing Christmas. And then my grandmother stayed here for Thanksgiving and my birthday, and then she physically died before Christmas, a few days before Christmas. And she loved that because we were in the projects, and people, I didn't know we were because everything was so nice and clean on the inside. She would take her time and put all these pretty lights all around the windows in the houses in the Santa Claus, and people would drive over and they would walk down just to look at my grandma's lights because she wanted us to have a beautiful Christmas tree and lights, and she let me pick the ornaments and help her decorate the Christmas tree. After I lived with my grandmother, we never had a Christmas tree at my mother's house. It was just constant abuse, and we couldn't touch her stuff because she's like, my stuff is expensive. You can't touch my stuff in my house. But that makes me crave Christmas. So if I can find Christmas somewhere, I'm going to go and take pictures of Christmas because that's what makes me think of her and the snowman and all the beautiful lights, because that's what she would do. And that's the only time, that's the first and last time I ever had like a mom figure to do that. That's the only thing I knew. That's why I wanted to work this out with her, because of that little bit of time in my life that she took care of me, and I never had a mother to take care of me and to clean me and to feed me. You know, she had her ways. In between her drinking and at the juke joint, I didn't know it when I was little because my grandma would have me in the juke. And my mother said, I was so embarrassed. I'd be looking for you and looking for mama, and mama up there in the juke joint drinking with you on her hip. I was like, I don't remember. I just know that. She was good to me, and she loved me. So I was in the juke joint with my grandma, like 2 years old, on her hip while she drinking her liquor and got her jukebox and dancing and popping her finger. And I asked my grandma, she admitted, but you know what? I don't remember anybody hurting me in there. That was just her thing, you know, and eventually she stopped being an alcoholic and she stopped smoking. Yep, she was always lit. She was, not me, because, I mean, she still made sure. I think my grandma tried to make up for some stuff that happened with her children. And that candle, it's dancing. Well, you know, that's Nipsey, too. He likes her. And then I thought about it, and I said he loves his grandma. So he went and talked to my grandma, and he said, you got to talk to her, and you got to cook for her. He said, I'm going to help you find her. He said, I went. She's in Texas. And he said, I kept telling you, get ready and don't do. And then I found out everybody was cursing my aunt and her daughter out, calling from Atlanta, calling all kind of bitches, so they're going to whoop her ass when they see her and all this stuff. She don't bring the body down. I didn't do that to my aunt. I didn't do it to my cousin. And I said, I see what you mean. And you know, it was really weird. My grandmother's messy. My grandmother's always been messy. Like Nipsey said, messy. My grandmother comes in here. Thank you, Alexis. And she goes, last night, she says, my daughter wants to keep my body and be close to me because I wasn't as close to her. I was more closer to my other daughter, which is my mother. I don't know why, but you know, sometimes moms have their picks. He messy. I'm going to tell you why, because he goes to get her. He starts to tell me a week ago what's going on and what's getting ready to go on. So I need to get ready and just get all my stuff that I loved about her and how she educated me and stuff, because she was the best teacher I had when I was little. And what did he say? Yeah, my grandma him and her have been talking. And my grandma, so he helps me find her and bring her to me. And he said, I already been talking to her, but you need to talk to her. And I'm going to back up, and I want you to cook for her and stuff. You're going to take care of grandma, cook for grandma. And I'm like, I am. Why don't you stay out? He said, I can't stay out of it. He's like, this is what you're going to do. I know how she was and stuff, but she loves you. You love her. And y'all don't have to be friends. Y'all don't have to agree with everything. But she needs you now, and you need her. You're going to cook for grandma, and you're going to talk to grandma. So she comes last night, and I was surprised she's still in the earth realm. She says, you know, my daughter in Texas, she loves me. She wants to keep my body because that's a way of like having me close to her in a way that I didn't want to, because I didn't want to be in Texas. So now she has me when I couldn't help myself. She got me here, and she loves me. She's loving on me, and I'm closer to her now in a way that I wasn't close to her in my body. And she said, so I know, you know, it's kind of wrong and everybody's hurt and disappointed, and that's not where I want to be, but she's holding me because of her need to have her mommy and wanted her mommy, and I didn't want to be there physically. She's like, I still don't, but I don't have a choice with the body. That's why she's holding me, not because she hates me, but because she loves me, and this is a way she can still be close to me and touch me. She said, but you have to tell her to be careful and not too stressed, because she's had some issues, health issues, and I don't want her to develop cancer like I did, because she's afraid of being without me if that happens to her. So I get up and I say, Mama, wait a minute. So are you telling me that she had this issue? Yeah, her own inner child. Yeah, and that's what this is about. And she said she needs to watch her. So I told my cousin just to tell your mom, because Mama came here last night and so there's a cancer issue. And she said, no, there's not a cancer issue. We took care of it. And she's all right now. I said, okay, so what's there? So I did hear Mom say, she said, yeah, it's not there. It's fine. We took care of it. I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. You're not asking me. I'm going to scan your mom's body, because that's what Mom said. And you know I wouldn't have known unless Mom came here and told me, because she knows your business. She knows mine. That's why I said my grandma's messy. And this is like, you need to talk to your grandma. I didn't know my grandmother was going to come here and say that. I thought my grandmother, she said, I don't want to be here in the airplane. I'm leaving. I'm going to be with Jesus. And then my grandma is messy than a motherfucker. I didn't get no sleep last night. She comes and fucks with me all night right when I'm sleeping. And it's like somebody pushes me. And I'm like, Mom, look, I thought you was with Jesus right now. I thought you was communing up and talk with him. Like, why are you down here in my house keeping up shit? Like you always kept up shit in your body. You still keeping up shit? And it's just like, talk to her. She starts talking about people, telling people business, and I'm just like, you know what? Just when I thought that you weren't going to do that anymore because you're not in a body, you still keep up shit. You messy than a motherfucker. You still messy than a motherfucker. And then I was like, okay. She's like, no, I know. I'm telling you what's going on. I'm telling you what's going on. You need to know. And I said, Mom told me to tell you. So I told her daughter. And I said, I'm going to look and see what else she has to say, because she said that was her issue. And she was in mind. She talked about me and everybody down here in Atlanta and shit, and past shit that Texas, and add some lies and embellishments. Okay, I won't say lies. She embellished shit. You know, she has a vivid imagination. Let's put it that way. You see what I'm saying? And then it'll stick by that shit. And then till you catch up by herself, and it's like, why you say that? Why you tell that I had said that? I'm like, Mama, you. Then I was like, you know what? That's just her. That's her. So I accepted it. That's why we got time. So I'm gonna go upstairs, because I see that's how you are, and you're almost 100 goddamn years old, and you still just don't want to fucking change with the messy shit. So I'm a, you know what? Child, when you said Rachel, you said, I can tell they're laughing. Well, who's laughing? So your cousin probably saying, what's she saying? Stand for unpleasant fear. Yeah. Yes, like now I got her here and there's nothing you can do about it, and I'm not sending her back. Even though she wanted to be, I'm not sending her back. There's nothing you can do about it. It is what it is. I said, okay, yes, ma'am. I said, what do you want me to call your names like everybody else? I'm not going to do that. If that's what you want and that's how you feel, I have to learn to live with it. I'll live with it. That's what else can I do? I don't want to argue. I don't want to curse. I'm just glad that you took care of her. And I looked at her and I looked at my cousin when she had her on the bed, in the hospital bed, and she was adjusting her and she was adjusting, touching her. And I knew, and I told her today, I said, I know you loved her. You've always loved her, because me and my cousin grew up together. She used to be in the project when she was little until her mother took her away, her husband, and in the military they would travel. I said, I know you love her. And I know you loved her to sleep. You loved her out of her body. And you were her guardian angel. I know you love her. How can I get mad about that? It just hurts because I know I won't see her to tell her goodbye. But at least for the last 2 weeks of her life, everybody was beating her and betrayed her and broke her heart that she loved unconditionally. But she had you to love her to sleep. You lullabied her to sleep. And she was able to move out of her physical body in peace. How could I be mad at that? I'm just jealous that I didn't get to do it. I didn't get to touch her and see her and hold her and love her to sleep. That's one of the most kindest things you can do to somebody. We're in their last hours and you love them to sleep. And you give them permission to leave in a place that's safe. She was finally safe. And she got to be with her spirit, her God. Whatever you want to call it, it's different for everybody. I won't call it Jesus when I go. I know that's not reality. But that's what she believed. And she safely went into that place. My cousin said, she kept saying, I want to go. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. And she left. Maybe that was the way it was meant to be. And I have to make peace with that. But anyway, I'm going to go. For those of you that need to hear it, I don't know who's listening. I don't know who's going to listen. But this is for you. Not the people that are bugging me about someone else's life and someone else who lost their life and what they're thinking and what they're feeling and who did it and what's the name and all that shit. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the ones who needed this, that are just like me, that don't just get excited when somebody's murdered that they don't know, that you never fucking met, they don't even know you exist, and you want to know their business. Now, I'm talking to people that actually lived like me and were close to the pain and lost a loved one. That breaks your heart because you know them, and help you dig within that without going crazy, without losing your mind, and comfortable being able to cry, scream, grieve that, but stay in a concentrated space and then analyze that and see what the lesson is and what within you needs to be healed, and how can you become a better, smarter, stronger person for yourself and a role model for your children and even the generations. To me, everything that happens to you, you should be able to give it back in some way to people that need it, and to your children and the generations. Because I told it to my son, I said, you must make peace with her. For the things you did that I didn't like, that she let you do, but I didn't like, and you didn't have to do it because she let you. And about the dog and shit, he's like, Mom, that's not fair. I said, yeah, it is fair. You need to make peace with her and tell her you love her. And ask her for forgiveness. Because you hurt her too. She just loved you so much. She just didn't want to let you know. Because I saw it. I saw how he would disappoint her and would do stuff. And he said, I'm sorry, Grandma. I love you, Grandma. My grandmother opened her big arms and just bear hug that boy and say, I love you, baby. I know you didn't mean it. It's okay. I'm like, wow, you never do that for me. I guess because I'm a girl. You know, I'm like, you can do no wrong. I'm tired of it. And I said, you need to talk to her now. She can hear you. She can see you. Because you have to find what your path is and what your lesson is in this, as she had to find hers. But I'm going to go now. Wow, I can see the candles in the back a little bit there. They have the pattern. Nipsey's making a pattern up there. I don't know what it is, but I'm glad he was here to warn me. And my grandmother came right to me and spoke to me. And I'll do what I can to help her while I'm learning from her, and I'm learning to become a better person to help myself. This is what I wanted to share and just let you know, between my cooking, what's been going on with me and how I'm trying to heal and be a better person. And I hope it's something I do and say for the ones that need to hear it can become better because of what I share and what you choose to do when you go within yourself to unlock your power and unlock the painful spots and heal them and heal the wounded little girl and stand in vagina power, and for the men to heal the wounded little boys and stand in penis power, because men have pain too. Men can cry. They're not female. They're not sensitive. They're not sissies because they cry. They have a heart. They have chakras. They feel pain. They have hurt. They have disappointment. And they have to heal and address that too. Thank you for your donation. I'm going to go now. I'm tired. I'm going to relax and lay down and spend the rest of the week working on me. And y'all, thank you for loving me and supporting me and being here for me and having my back. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you soon. I love you all.